All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of AIMBOT. I am super excited for tonight. There's three really cool classic Doom showcases we have going on. We've got Red Warrior running the original Ultimate Doom, episode 1 through 4. Derek running a mod pack that recently came out called Fractured Worlds, which has a lot of really cool, like, puzzly sort of tech in it. I watched the preview he sent me, and I'm really impressed at what the modders can do with this game. And then to cap off the night, we have Zelo running Doom 64, Watch Me Die max %, which is pretty wild. That's like the hardest difficulty in that game, and the fact that he can do 100% of that is really cool. So before I throw it over real quick, I do have a personal announcement. I usually like to keep these until after the first run, but this is something that I'm very excited about. GDQ is hosting a marathon concept that I put on called One and Done-a-thon, and submissions are open right now if you want to submit until November 21st. It's a series of marathons where whenever a runner gets in, that's the only time they can be in the marathon. So you get one game, one submission, and if you're in, you can never be in that series again. It doesn't affect your availability for other GDQ marathons, so don't worry about that. But if you'd like to submit, go to games.quick.com/hotfix and put something in on the forum. I'd be really happy to see you there. So, that said, without further ado, let's go over to Red Warrior and Ultimate Doom.
All right, what's up, GDQ chat? I'm Red Warrior, and I'm glad to be here, so thanks for having me here. I'll be showcasing Ultimate Doom, a game from 1993. Created by id Software. I wouldn't be surprised if there's anyone who does not know it. It's pretty popular. And in 1995, there was an add-on, including episode 4, or adding episode 4. It was 3 originally. And I'll be running all 4 episodes on the UV speed category. UV for ultra violence, that's the difficulty. And speed, it's basically any % for today's standards. And yeah, I'm here joined by Mythical. I'm hyped for that. Hey, Mythical, what's up?
Hi, I'm doing great. How about you?
Yeah, I couldn't complain. It's all good.
So I'm going to be doing most of the talking for this run, and you're just going to focus up, and we're all going to be okay.
That's true. There's a lot of things I have to take care of in the run, so yeah.
Well, we got a little bit to take care of before we get started, because Doom is so fast-paced. I just wanted to go over some things real quick before the run starts. The first is strafe running, which is pretty common in older games. GoldenEye on the N64 was a popular one. And how it works is the game treats your forwards movement and your sideways or strafing movement as 2 separate speed vectors. And so when you hold both directions, you add those vectors together. If you remember from your high school math class, you might be picturing a right-angled triangle, and there's a hypotenuse, and that's your new speed vector. And it's bigger, it's faster, but it's tilted off to the side a little bit. So Doom Guy is going to be running on this weird diagonal the whole time. So that's why Red Warrior is going to be looking a little bit off to the side throughout the whole run. It also means you're never aiming where you're actually going, so it's going to present sort of a challenge throughout the run. Now, standard strafe running is called Strafe Run 40 or SR40 because normal strafing moves 40 units per tick, which is how Doom measures speed. You can just think of it as 40 miles per hour. And there's a way to increase it to 50 miles per hour by holding down 2 additional buttons, a button to turn left or right, and another button that changes that turn input to a strafe input. Most players use at least 1 mouse button for this because holding 4 buttons on the keyboard is very uncomfortable. It also has another big downside. Your turning input is always being converted into a strafe input, so you can't turn anymore. You're locked into the direction that you're facing until you release that strafe toggle button. And lastly, going from SR40 to SR50, as it's called, only increases your speed from 28% to 41% faster. It's not a lot, so you're only going to see it used very occasionally, specifically when we're trying to do a jump. You might hear me say jump sometimes. There's no jumping in Doom. It would be more accurate, I guess, to say falling with speed. And if you run fast enough, either through strafe running or from a boost from a rocket, you can cross a big gap before you fall down far enough and miss the jump, as it were. That's all I got to say for now. There'll be plenty more to talk about once we get started, but I'm ready to get going.
Yeah, thanks for covering the strafe running. It's a big part of the game, as you already mentioned. Yeah, I would like to take this opportunity for a few shout-outs. First of all, to King Dime. He's the reason why I got into this run. I've always loved his GDQ appearances on site. And he also has a tutorial on his YouTube channel. So if you want to get into this run, he's got you covered. And next one would be Bluetooth, or Bloodhound, the English version of his name. He helped me set up Crispy Doom. It's a source code I'm using. He helped me a lot with that, so big shout outs to him as well. Furthermore, to Zero Master, he's a legend at this game and a true master. He also helped me with a few technical aspects of the game and the source ports. Well, to my girlfriend Hummingbird, she's gotten up with me in the middle of the night, so thanks for the support. And of course to you, Mythical. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Oh, well, thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, so I believe we're all settled and good to go. And the run...
Yeah, you can count us down.
Yeah, I will be doing that. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
And we're off. Playing on Ultra Violence here. This is sort of what most people consider the hardest normal difficulty. Nightmare is a bit crazy. And the first level, we took a little secret path to pick up some mega armor. You can see we have 189 armor. That's not so helpful right now. It's going to be really handy later on, particularly level 3. For now, level 2, we're going to shoot and hopefully wake up an enemy who's going to open the door for us on our way back down. We'll see if he does it. Yeah, there it is, nice and open. Thank you very much for helping us out. There's a lot of enemy manipulation like that going on. But there's only so much you can do. Doom is a very random game. The enemy movement and as well as enemy damage has these big, huge damage ranges. So this elevator at the end, for example, we'll see, no, the imp clipped down at the bottom, so now he's in our way down there, and we gotta try to take him out before we can jump down. That's just unlucky. That's just the way this run goes sometimes. We really want good luck for this level. Level 3, Toxin Refinery. We're going to be prioritizing killing these black-suited guys, these shotgunners. They can do between 3 and 45 damage with their shots, so you will just get absolutely shredded if you get unlucky here. This has not been the smoothest, but really good luck to not take too much damage during that whole sequence. So 56 health it's fine. This is fine. We can work with this. There are still a lot of shotgunners alive, though. Honestly, any run you can take that gets through this portion of the level, you'll be happy with. 33, oh my goodness, that shotgunner could have ended everything, but he didn't. Up to 50. This is still okay, but there are still a lot of hit scan enemies left at the end of the level here. We're gonna try to hide from a lot of them in these 2 corridors. You can see you just took a bunch of damage down to 37. I think he's gonna be okay, though.
Close.
Okay, nice. First try Toxin Refinery. The next level, we're gonna go into this little secret here for a bit extra health, as well as the backpack, which has a rocket in it. Rockets are really important ammunition for the first episode. All our rockets are routed out exactly. And we're gonna jump to the yellow key, SR50, nice little precise jump here. It's not free. Yeah, there we go. It's normally, like, you can do it. You kind of count on being able to do it, but every now and then you'll miss it. And the door decides to open for us. Sometimes that door can be a little bit tricky. It's tagged incorrectly with a lift somewhere else in the level, and if the lift is doing something, the door won't open. It can be really frustrating, but we got a lucky door that time. And we managed to squeak past the Spectre enemy there twice, actually. That's really nicely done. That is not so easy to do at all. We needed to step on that little part on the floor in order to trigger this walkway that we're on right now. 10 health is really not where you want to be right now, so he's going to need to be very careful edging around the corner. He's going to shoot the barrel to take out some enemies and hopefully thin them out for later. We're going to be moving by this area again later on, and it really helps to sort of thin things out. Now, once we open this door, we're gonna try not to shoot. We don't want to alert the enemies and wake them up and have them moving around. So we're gonna try to just worm our way through here, and it doesn't work out because the enemies just happen to block you. This is just something that happens sometimes. We'll see if we can do better on the next try. This barrel just does not want to blow up. Oh, perfect. There we go. So now these guys don't react until you turn the corner. This pinky demon doesn't know you're there till you slip right by him. and we get to take this sort of secret exit out this side path here. This is not only safer and faster, but it's got some goodies in there that we can use too, some health and some partial invisibility. This will mostly prevent hit scan enemies from being very accurate against you. They will sort of aim wildly to either side while you have this power up. It can be troublesome if you're up against enemies that throw projectiles, because now those projectiles are random and you might run into them where previously they would have definitely missed you. But there's so many hit scan enemies here that the partial invisibility is definitely a useful thing to have. Now there's a little bit of a shortcut through the middle of the map right here. I know it's hard to see in the darkness, but he did take it, and now he's just gonna try to get through these pinkies at the end, just crammed into this little small space. There we go, that was pretty good. There's a trick coming up. We are going to try to lure a shotgunner to stand underneath a door, because if it closes, let's see. Yes, he got it. It will lock us in the room for 30 seconds. So having a guy stand underneath it, the door kind of comes down on his head and then apologizes and politely goes back up immediately. So really important to save that 30 seconds. We got the blue key and we dip through a little secret path here to get a mega armor, another partial invisibility. And coming up, we're going to be using a lot of rockets. There's a lot of enemies clustered up. These rockets are valuable, but they're put to good use here. And there's a lot of things going on. We stepped on a secret trigger to sort of lower this part of the level. Then there's a secret wall as a backdoor to the yellow key. We're going to step on the bottom of the stairs to open another secret. And from now on, hopefully no shooting. So these imps are still when we turn the corner, and didn't quite get to be able to sneak past them. But it does make them a little more consistent when they're all in the same place. This backdoor secret sort of continues. We get a soul sphere for 100 health. And we pop out right next to this switch that we need to hit. That gets us into the final area of this level. It is kind of a mess in there. We're going to use some rockets to clear out the initial wave of enemies, and then there's a switch in the corner. And when you... Oh, there was a surprise imp waiting. Yes, rockets do a lot of splash damage. If you shoot something point blank with a rocket, you're probably dead. Even if you're not, you're probably going to load a save. And this room floods with enemies when you hit this switch, and we want to try to clear out the specters here in front of the exit and then sneak in. Perfect. On to the next level. Computer station. This is maybe a good time to talk about how enemies and the player are considered infinitely tall in Doom. The game isn't really checking their height when it's looking at collision, so these enemies at the bottom of this ledge will actually block you from running off of the ledge, even though you'd clearly sail right over their heads. So that's why we saw a sort of circuitous route around the top of the ledge to avoid them. There's some other odd interactions with this too. Enemies at the bottom of ledges can hit you with melee attacks while you're standing at the top, and vice versa. And hopefully none of this becomes a problem as we move through some of these big ledges on this part of the level. Now this has gone really well. It's very easy to get blocked in, take a bunch of damage from all those enemies on the way here. Having 100 health is just beautiful right now. And the chain gun is just ripping through all of these enemies. We're gonna step on this lift. Yes, get a little bit of height just to jump over the ledge and into this secret area. We get a soul sphere for this, and sort of like a nice quick shortcut over to this blue key. 168 health and now 100 armor is a pretty good spot to be in. If you can hold on to this, you can go into the boss fight in the next map just fine. But more than likely, all of these enemies in this final sequence are going to be chipping away at it. So we might need to pick up a little bit of a secret soul sphere to refill our health in the next map. We'll see how this goes. 132 is pretty good so far, actually.
I usually don't have that much health.
Yeah.
Entering the next map.
I think of it as like the soul sphere is part of the route, and then it's like I have a slim chance of being able to skip it, right?
Yeah.
And it looks like this, and that's where we are. So we ran right past it. We've got the rocket launcher out. The boss is 2 Barons of Hell. They take 5 rockets apiece. We're gonna try to split the damage a little bit and coax them to meet in the middle. Oh, everything just went wrong all of a sudden there. Oh, 2 wasted rockets. That's no good. We need all the rockets. We're trying to get the splash damage. The specters that are running around the room, eating a rocket.
Amazing.
This is tricky stuff. You are a little bit at the mercy of what the monsters decide to do here. Like this guy on the right just didn't walk left, and now he's somewhere that's not easy to hit. We're boxed in behind us by specters. I think he's going to be able to do this. Okay, they're both dead. The walls are coming down, and we're going to try to do a trick to jump off of this ledge as a stepping stone up onto these. Yes, perfect. That skips having to wait for some stairs to raise. They are so slow. You save like 11 seconds or something if you get that jump.
It's at least 20, 25, even. The stairs of shame.
Oh, it's ridiculous. Well, you did it. So we're on to episode 2, nice and quick now, firing a couple shots to sort of coax the enemies here at the bottom to be in a more favorable position. We get some health armor and a whole bunch of shells as well. And now these pinkies, demons, we want these out of our way. We're gonna try to kill as many as we can while we wait, but it's very tricky to get through here, and there's enemies waiting on the other side too. This has not gone well, but getting all the health packs has got him all the way back up to 100 on the other side, so that's pretty good. We've got a new enemy now. This red floating marinara meatball thing is a Caco demon, and it's a healthy boy. We don't want to try to kill it with a shotgun, so we're gonna patiently wait for it and run around it. This one too. And we're on to the next level. Episode 2 has got a lot more tricks in it. You're not just sort of playing the levels as much as you were in episode 1. This map has a strafe run over a gap directly into the exit. But first, we're going to pick up a plasma gun. It's an incredible weapon. It does good damage. It can be safely used up close, unlike the rocket launcher. And it keeps enemies stunned while you're shooting them too. So it's a good thing to have. Here's the strafe run into the exit. Perfect. On to the next map. Gonna try not to fire any shots for a while so that enemies stay in fixed positions, and then as we run around and pick up the blue key, I can tell you about wall runs. It's really complicated. I only barely understand it. Doom splits your movement vector into 2 halves to improve collision detection. We'll see the wall run against this wall right here. Zip. Just a little bit, just a little kick of speed. Running into certain walls, I think they have to be north-south walls. At certain angles, those 2 halves of your movement vector get doubled to full size, and so you're effectively moving at double speed. That's about the best I can do in terms of explaining how it works. It's unfortunately not too useful. There are very few walls where you get the chance to use it, but every now and then, you'll see Red Warrior kind of cozy up against a wall and do that little zip. The start of Deimos Lab is pretty chill until this Baron is here, and you gotta dance around with him while you wait for this lift. There we go. And then you gotta nab the yellow key before you get crushed. And there is a Baron right behind him who is threatening to hit him, but decided not to attack, so that's nice. We're gonna dip into a secret to get some plasma ammo, and then we're gonna take this teleporter, which is a nice sort of advantageous position for the next section. Got hit twice by the Caco Demon somehow. Very aggressive Caco Demon. 33 health. We hit the switch and get onto the rising ledge. That's the exit there. Why not just double back and pick up 100 free health?
Yeah, it's a little safer.
On to the next level. We're gonna do some sneaky movement in this room to hopefully avoid triggering 2 Barons of Hell. Yep, they're still locked up in their little closets up there. And then the rest of the level is pretty chill in terms of, threats. You're not gonna die or anything, but movement, if you wanna go as fast as possible, movement through this section is incredibly tough, because if you tap a wall even a little bit, it's gonna kill a bunch of your speed. These are a couple more wall runs. You don't even really get a chance to get going before you slam into the wall on the other side. But yeah, having perfect movement, keeping your shoulders off of these walls, really tough. Now we got a really big trick coming up. We are going to clip out of bounds. Step 1 is to activate a glitch called Momentum Preservation. This lets Doom Guy be sort of running into a wall while keeping his speed. And once you have that speed, you get lined up with a visual cue, and you use the knockback from a rocket to push us out of bounds. Let's see. Great. There it is. Unfortunately, there's no way back in bounds, but thankfully we can activate the end of level switch by lining ourselves up with it exactly. Absolutely super precise. He's mashing the use button. There it is. Okay. That was really quick, actually. Nicely done. So we're going to skip most of this level now with a really difficult rocket jump. We have this invulnerability, and that's nice. But there's enemies everywhere. You don't have enough time to set up like a nice pixel perfect setup. You kind of just got to wing it. and it's tough. It's really precise. So this could take a couple of tries to line this up. Uh-oh. Yeah, you can't kill that guy with your last rocket or you'll have nothing to do the jump with. Oh, that one looked good. Dang it.
It did.
You can kind of tell based off of where the rocket connects. There we go. Third try. And now we're on to the boss fight. To defeat the Cyber Demon, shoot it until it dies, ideally with a plasma gun that has about 185 cells. We came here with 190, so I was gonna say we might be able to finish him entirely with the plasma gun, but these lost souls got in our way a little bit, so maybe not. We might have to switch to the rocket launcher to finish him off. Just don't get hit by these rockets. They do so much damage. And there it is. We're on to episode 3 now. We're halfway through in terms of levels. In terms of length, though, we're not quite halfway yet. The levels do kind of get longer and harder. A shot there to lure the Cacodemons off to the left. Unfortunately, they will probably be on our way on the way back right now. That was pretty nice of them, actually. We'll see how nice these Pinky Demons feel like being. Very common to have to chew through all of these guys with your shotgun. At least it's only taking 2 shots to kill them. Yeah, okay, there's 3. It can sometimes take 3. Was able to kind of sneak past one at the end there. Not much you can do. Charging into this room full of imps is just gonna make you eat a ton of melee hits, so you gotta thin them out first. On to the next level. It's a pretty open level, so if you know where to go, you can really blast through it. We're gonna run around the outside, pick up a secret plasma gun, and then we're not gonna fire it. We don't wanna wake anything up. We're just gonna sort of sneak around, grab the blue key, sneak left past the Cacodemons, left past the Lost Souls. They might block us on the way out, but they don't.
Lucky.
Very, very smooth level 2. Pandemonium, level 3, we're gonna clear out some enemies down here. They're gonna be in our way when we're trying to jump down from a ledge on the way back. And then later on, we're gonna pick up the BFG, the big fancy gun. And it fires a big shot, it does decent damage, but the real damage comes from the invisible tracer rays that it shoots out afterwards. The timing and angle of them aren't very intuitive, but when you understand them, you can do cool stuff like fire a shot into a wall and then step around a corner and instantly have the tracers just clear out all the enemies in a room. We're gonna try to sneak left past all of these imps here. Yes, nicely done. Wonderful. On to map 4. The first half of this map is, well, except for this pinky right here, is open enough that you can just kind of maneuver around all the monsters without firing a shot. It's pretty fun. But later on, we're gonna do a trick called a key bump. Now, when the game is checking collisions, it's looking one step ahead and kind of asking, is he in a wall now? If yes, don't move him there. But while it's doing that check, the game will still check for collision with nearby items. So even though it never actually puts you in the wall, there's a chance to pick up items as if you were. Now, if we line up correctly and run fast enough into this wall, right here, look for this green line on the left side of the screen. Didn't get it, and you do have to kind of reload a save because the enemies are going to be in your way. Didn't get it again. It is a bit finicky, this trick.
There we go.
There it is. Yellow key in the inventory, picked up through the wall. Now, the end of the level is, difficult movement in tight corridors, but then there's this Cacodemon at the end. You're hoping he cooperates. That was pretty nice of him. On to Unholy Cathedral. The teleporters here are sort of meant to be very confusing, but when you know where to go, they just help you get around really quickly. So you blink and you'll miss this map after all these green flashes. We're gonna do another key bump to get the blue key from the ledge here. It doesn't save too much time, but it's a little bit more reliable than the other one. You'd think. Sometimes it just doesn't go. There we go. And into the teleporter. And that's basically the end of the level. There's some stuff in this hallway that might block us. We're gonna punch it with a Berserk Fist to get it out of our way. The Berserk upgrade upgrades your fist damage to like rocket launcher levels of damage. Very fun. On to the next map. Mount Erebus has this wonderful bitrate destroying fire blue texture that we love so much. We're gonna open the secret and get some cells. Those will be very useful for the next few maps. We're gonna use some rockets to clear out. Oh, unlucky. A rocket has a 7 out of 8 chance to kill a Spectre, I believe, so got the 1 out of 8 that it didn't just there. But there we go. We cleared out the way and got the blue key. This is all you need to finish the map, actually. There's all this stuff. I know you're probably curious what's going on with all this other stuff in the level, but nope.
Nope.
We're on to the next map. There are a lot of pinky demons blocking the way on this map, so when we get the chance, we're going to use the BFG to try and clear out a big chunk of them, because we're going to be moving through this main area of the map multiple times. There's the shot. Nice damage on all of them. We're going to be through that section multiple times, so having them out of the way is definitely worth the 40 cells for that one shot. We're into this sort of red key maze. Once you get the red key and you hit the switch on the other side here, this opens up a bunch of teleporters to sort of the different parts of the final area of the map. And we're gonna definitely wow, this has not gone well. You can wiggle a little bit to avoid damage from the pinky demons, but the cooperation from the pinky demons just there with each other was kind of amazing.
Well played.
So there's some tricks here. We're gonna strafe run over the gap. Got hung up a little bit on the wall, so we gotta try that one again. This is gonna get us the yellow key, and then we can strafe run back. We can take this yellow key over to the yellow key door, though your pathing has lured some lost souls into your way, so things are a little bit off script now. Gonna have to improvise a little bit. This is kind of the way Doom runs go a lot of the time. There, try to take care of as many of those lost souls as we can. They're gonna be in the way when we go back to this teleporter and jump to the exit. This bridge here is our destination. Nice, landed on it. It's really easy to either miss the jump or overrun it and run off the edge. The final map, maybe you saw the title of the map is DIS. It stands for Disappointing Final Boss. It's already dead. The tracer rays from the BFG, when you're point blank, they all hit the Spider Mastermind, and it just kills it. Now we're on to the 4th episode. You may have noticed he died immediately. This is because the 4th episode is very hard. Like we said before we got started, it was added later on. So it was kind of in response to players who had been playing Doom for like a year and a half and wanted more of a challenge. So they gave it to them. There is very little space to maneuver. There are a lot of threats. There's very little health and ammo. You can see this 24 health down to 9 now. You can save when you're doing a Doom run and load and stuff, but it's really easy to get yourself into kind of like an unwinnable situation. So it's a little bit scary. Honestly, this load back to 24 health makes me feel a little bit better.
A little, yeah.
All right, so we are doing a bit of a trick to grab this red key here. It's sort of a variation on a key bump. Grabbing it through the bars. You can just picture Doom Guy like reaching through the bars and just barely grabbing it. Lots of enemies teleport in once you grab that key. Somehow, none of them have hit Red Warrior. Fantastic. All right, there is some health available at the start of this map, not a lot. And we're gonna be jumping onto a damaging floor just here, hitting a sort of trigger from down below to open up this way. And we're gonna dip into a secret that has a Berserk pack, so thankfully we're up to 100 health now. And from this position, not only do we get a Mega Armor, we key bump a BFG through the wall, first try, very nicely. Whoa, what's he doing there?
You found the way.
Oh no. Oh, and you did the key bump so quickly too. Oh wow, first try again, nicely done. And also from this position, we can jump past this blue pillar and into the final area of the map as well. So it's a really, really nice place to be, this little nook up in the corner here.
Again?
He's there again. Something about where you saved this has just sort of had this guy in this bad position. Oh boy. At least you're getting the BFG really quickly each time. All right, the way is clear. Drops a save. There's the teleport.
Let's block him.
Now, you block the teleport? Okay. And then go? Oh, man. This is good thinking. Such improv. Oh, took a hit and actually still made the jump, but wasn't ready to land it. Okay, there we go. And now hopefully the door opens. It does, but he gets blocked by some pinkies, so he's lost some cells, and he needs those cells really bad, so we gotta try it again. There's a trigger on the floor to hit the door, and it's really easy to miss it, especially when you're going really wide to pick up all those rockets. Much better.
Finally.
200. All right. Yeah, the fourth episode really is a totally different beast. This is not all that atypical of things that can happen when you're playing this. So we're gonna set up a rocket jump off this Lost Soul. It is really finicky. There's a lot of enemies that can block you on the other side. The Lost Soul itself is not so easy to work with, but that was really well done. Very quick rocket jump. And finally, we get a bit of a break. The fourth map, Unruly Evil, it's called. There's a free invulnerability like right here. It's gonna last for most of the rest of the map. There's no big tricks to do. The movement isn't particularly hard, so it's just a nice breather, I think, before we get back into the really hard stuff that episode 4 can have. This room is most of the map. You gotta hit this switch to lower this lift. You ride the lift, you take the left teleporter, you hit a switch. You hit the switch to lower the lift, you go back up. This time we're gonna go on the right side. You hit another switch. Then you hit the switch one last time to lower the lift, and this is gonna take us back up to the exit. Just as the invulnerability runs out. Perfect. Map 5, we're getting down closer to the end of this now. We've got a castle map, and it's got kind of an interesting layout that we can take advantage of to finish pretty quickly once we get the red key, which is at the top of this lift. I don't think any of the routing we're gonna do here is unintended per se. It's just sort of a non-standard way to move throughout the map. Maybe you'll see what I mean. It's really not so crazy to think like a player could jump down here and then cross this little gap right here. And then this big window, I mean, it's just begging someone to run through it and hit the exit switch on the other side. Okay, break time's over. It's map 6, Against Thee Wickedly. This is the hardest map of the run. We're gonna duck into a secret area at the bottom of these stairs to pick up a couple extra cells. These are gonna come in handy. And then we're gonna wind our way around some precarious ledges over lava. There's this teleporter thing in the middle we're gonna try to jump to if we can. And the way this map is supposed to be played, the whole time there's a cyber demon shooting rockets at you that you can't really fight very well. Thankfully, he only comes out once you get the red key, and that's all you need to end the map, really. So, but you do have to deal with him. He is right in front of the exit in a very tiny room. It is so easy for him to just tag you with a rocket. You're not going to have enough health to survive a direct hit. Even the splash damage, because there's walls everywhere behind you, even if you dodge the rocket, the splash damage is still going to eat away at your health total. 74 health is not a lot of health to survive a bunch of splash damage from rockets. So yeah, he goes down once. This is absolutely expected. There's all these other enemies in the way too, complicating things. It's just such a mess, especially if you do start to take damage. The screen goes red and it's very blinding. You lose visibility. There's just so much that makes this difficult. Now he's in the room, but it's just not enough health to deal with the splash damage from the rockets, even if you do dodge them. Oh, this is good. This is good.
Oh, that's
a little bit
good.
more.
Okay, still in fight.
Little bit. Oh, wow. So lucky. So monsters will infight with each other. If one monster hits someone, he'll turn around and fight back, and you can watch them fight each other. And so really fortunate there that another enemy shot the cyber demon and sort of pulled his attention away. We take those, absolutely. So this map, the exit switch is in the floor, but if you know it's there, you can still press it, and you can jump directly to it by getting lined up on this door, strafe run over the gap, press it in the floor. There we go. On to the final map. And it's more than just a boss fight. There's a whole map here we gotta do. We're gonna use the BFG to clear out the left and right sides of this room, just absolutely filled with enemies. We're going to ignore the right side. The key you get there raises a bridge to the final door. We're gonna rocket jump across it instead, but we do need to get the key that opens the door, so that's why we're on this side of the map. Nice movement around that Baron of Hell. And we also ignored picking up a safety health refill as well, so this has been about as speedy as this map can go. Really strong finish, it looks like. Here's the teleporter back to the middle area. BFG to kill this Baron of Hell behind the door. And now, with enemies in the way, we need to try to set up this rocket jump. All right, missed it. And he's across. All right. We get a health refill. The Spider Mastermind is there. It's still very weak to the BFG. It goes down. The exit is lowering. 20 health. Gonna try to get on this pillar and maybe jump into the exit a little bit early. Get ready on time. Okay, we're gonna just walk in.
And time.
That's time. 28:45. That's fantastic. That's like 2 minutes off your PB or something, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's 26 something. Yeah. Oh man, what a ride.
Congratulations.
That was
Thanks,
a really
man.
good
Episode
run.
4. It's such a fun run as well. Even though episode 4 is really that difficult, with the pinnacle being E4 and 6. But it always feels so rewarding completing a run in the end.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, E4M, I'm almost glad it didn't go so well so that people can see just what it's really like to play that map, because it truly is terrible sometimes.
Yeah, if you see the demos, which are movie runs, so you cannot load and save when recording demos, it looks so easy because you have to do it first try, literally, to kill the Cyber Demon, and you also have to rely on him being busy infighting with the Cacto Demons behind him or randomly from the other side of the map. If he's infighting, that's your best bet. If not, then he just decides you won't exit the game. And you also need him dead, because if he's still alive, the doors, the bars at the end won't open, so it is a requirement for him to be dead.
Well, you did it.
Yeah.
Nice job.
Really good run.
Yeah.
I was
Thanks.
like seeing those, just the speed in it and just the tight execution is so cool.
Can highly recommend getting into it. As I said, King Dime has a tutorial on his YouTube channel. It's perfect to really get in touch with this run. Also the mechanics, he explains all the tricks, the lineups, setups. Go for it.
Yeah,
All right,
for sure.
then,
Go for it.
Thanks for having me here, and thanks again, Mythical, again, for your great commentary. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you so much. I enjoyed the run. Thanks for having me.
So I've got a couple announcements before we go to break. If you missed any GDQ HotFix shows, the run that just happened or the Ocarina of Time randomizer that just happened right before this, check out the archive of past runs and shows at youtube.com/gamesdonequick. And if you're watching this on YouTube, check us out at twitch.tv/gamesdonequick for the live shows, most nights at 7 p.m. Eastern. And before we go to break, HotFix is funded in part thanks to subscriptions and bits from viewers. So if you'd like to help support future broadcasts, or if you just want to hear the music on the break screen, feel free to drop us a subscription. I swear I can speak properly. And thank you again, Road Warrior. And we'll be taking a quick break and swapping over to Fractured Worlds. All right, everybody, welcome back to AIMBOT. We've got Derek up next with Fractured Worlds, which is a custom map set that actually just came out this year, pretty recently too. So, Derek, go ahead and take it away.
Hey everyone, I'm Derek. I'm a Doom 2 challenge map runner is the best way I would describe myself. I focus on running lengthy and difficult maps, like 20-30 minute long maps where a single mistake can end your run pretty easily. I'm also joined by two veterans of the mapping community here, Nirvana and Insane Gazebo.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm Nirvana. We've
And-
both made maps for this project.
And I'm Insane Gazebo, or just Gazebo. Hello, yeah, I made maps too. In fact, that's my map you're seeing now.
It's a very pretty map.
Oh, thank you.
I'll be doing a UV Max run. So typically Doom runs are done with a demo format where it's a single segment. You can't use saves, loads, or even die at all during the run. But for this event, it's with saves and loads, so it'll be a bit more casual than how it normally would be. And the UV Max, the goal is to get all kills in the map and find all secrets. And I think that's about everything I really wanted to talk about before starting. Did you guys have anything you wanted to go over?
I was just going to say quickly, I think it makes it particularly impressive, Derek, doing these challenge maps with the UV Max category, because obviously the maps are very difficult. Some maps like not even really intended to be done single segment. And then he's doing them single segment anyway, because he's just that good at the game. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got nothing else to add.
All right, then. I think we're good to go.
Let's do it.
All right, countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah, so shoot switch activates the map, basically. Everything will get alerted, because everything in Doom needs to kind of, in these Doom maps, needs to teleport into the map at a certain point. So that's why that shoot switch starts it off.
Yeah, and shoot switches are typically one of the easiest ways to just make sure that the monsters will alert straight away and it basically avoids problems with monster alert and their behavior and stuff.
This opening room is actually super nasty. Like,
Yeah.
he has to hide in this corner because there are enemies that can basically, with hit scan, just hit him like instantly for a lot of damage. And he needs to pull these cyber demons around so that he can like get a little bit of space to start the infighting with another group of enemies. But it's a very tight space, lots of damage that can be taken like very quickly.
We should probably explain as well, those aren't regular cyber demons as well.
Yeah, so if you've played Doom before, you probably know the Cyber Demon is like the big boss of one of the episodes in Doom 1. These are slightly different. They have much less health, like a quarter of the health, so 1,000 health instead of 4,000. Which means they can be taken out a lot more quickly, but they still do the same amount of damage, same attack pattern and everything, just less health. And the regular... Oh, sorry, you go, Kazima.
I was just saying that, yeah, much like the previous run, there's infighting, of course, but infighting in these sorts of hard maps is far more integral than it was in a lot of the original map designs. It's almost required in some cases to beat fights.
Yeah, like in this one room, you probably have like more monsters than the entirety of like a Doom 1 level, or even 2 Doom 1 levels, most likely. And these are like mid to high tier monsters as well, so, you know, there's generally a lot of opportunities to take a lot of damage very quickly in these fights.
Yeah, you're also probably noticing a lot of fancy light sequences in this map, and that's largely because when I started this map 2 years ago, I want to say, I just discovered them and yeah, went ham with them.
Yeah, Gazebo is kind of known in the community for making a very famous or infamous, depending on how you look at it, map pack called Sunder, which influenced, influenced me in my maps and influenced a lot of people in their mapping and stuff to make really challenging what has become called slaughter maps, which is, you know, slaughter or challenge maps generally like just high difficulty, high monster density kind of maps.
And when I made this, I don't think I'd returned to the community for very long because I took quite a break from the community and the mapping and so on. And I'd only just recently discovered one of the other legends of the community, Rubix, and he was a huge influence on me and my return to the community because he sort of really pushed for fight design that was a lot sort of smaller, but still very, very difficult. I think he was one of the people that really sort of showed the community, and he wasn't the only one, but you could make some really creative fights in some really small rooms that were also very challenging to even the best players.
Well, yeah, he helped a lot with this particular map set as well. Did a lot of work, a lot of the, not in this map, but the MIDI or the music track for map 6, which Derek will be running after this. That was provided by Rubix. I think it was an edit of another person's MIDI, but yeah, he provided a lot of music. He helped a lot with texture work and compiling and things like that. So integral in a lot of ways, as well as being influential in the actual mapping style.
Yeah, and it's funny, the MIDI I chose for this is actually from an old game called The Incredible Machine 2. But again, I sort of have to credit Rubix because he's the one who sort of found it and included it in a different map.
I think 25 might be a Danny map in some ways. I can't remember.
It is a Danny map?
Yeah. Danny not getting credit again. Poor Danny. Danny Babinga.
Sorry, Danny.
Sorry. Danny Babinga's another very big influential
Yeah.
figure for people who make hard stuff. And him and Rubik's work together on another very well-known project in the community called Sunlust. But the joke here is that he often doesn't get as much credit as Rubik's, despite them doing equal amounts of work on the one.
My bad.
It's okay, Kaziro. I won't tell him.
He's probably in chat.
Yeah, maybe. So we're just getting a little secret here as part of the UV max. Also necessary to get to the secret fight, which every map in this map set has a purple key, which can access a secret encounter. A lot of them are fairly difficult and utilize like a lot of weird little gimmicks. The one on this map is quite difficult actually, and we'll be seeing that a bit later.
Yeah, the original version of this map didn't actually have that secret encounter, but the other mapper in this project who wasn't here today, he added a secret encounter to his, and I was the only one without one, so I felt pressured. So I had to put one in, and it came out pretty good.
This fight is interesting. Use a lot of levels to this elevator. This fight can be tricky because you don't have a lot of space. You have to kill this cyber demon pretty quickly a lot of the time.
There's a lot of fast enemies that can get around behind you, and depending on like that.
Yeah, exactly. And like you might think like, oh, there's a lot of this smaller enemy. They probably don't do that much damage, but in actual fact, they can with a max roll on their rocket, they can actually do 80 damage if you have no armor. So
It's a huge discrepancy on between the lowest and the highest damage roll on those rockets.
I think it's 10 to 80.
Yeah, 10 to 80. Yeah.
It's the roll, which Doom does have a little bit of RNG. I'll be honest.
Oh yeah, but that's I think part of the fun, honestly. Yeah, the first time I think this fight was streamed on Twitch, it broke because I'd added in a little extra light, which broke the floor lowering.
There's a lot of stuff in mapping that you can't really predict breaking. In fact, right before this stream, Derek managed to find yet another bug, and I had to patch it real quick with a new version right before the run. So.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. It's amazing. Even get so many people to test your maps and run through them, and then you watch someone play them live for the first time, and you suddenly realize the basic door never worked properly because no one tested it. Everybody assumed that the door worked.
I should say that while there are others low health cyber demons, this one, he's darker blue, and he has 4,000 health. He's a regular cyber demon, so they're both in this.
That's
That
about
was unfortunate. Sometimes cyber demons can just, if an enemy in this game gets pain chance, which you can see with these revenants where they're taking damage and they're sort of going into that animation. Every time that happens, it kind of restarts a state in which they can fire. So if the cyber demon gets injured, he is basically more likely to fire again quickly afterwards. And that's what happened to Derek just before. It was just a bit too close and the cyber demon fired, and it does a lot of damage. But all these fights are relatively challenging, which is why you see Derek putting down a save just for safety for this run. Normally he'd be doing this, and he has done this without taking any deaths. But obviously not viable for a marathon run.
And yeah, dodging into those little alcoves as the middle floor raises and lowers can be very dangerous, depending on what the weak cyber demon wants to do. You can definitely get trapped in there.
Also, if you've only played the original game, you're probably wondering why there's so much cyan everywhere, and this map set uses a custom palette, which replaces everything that's green in Doom with cyan instead. So, and a couple of the monsters have like changed sprites and things like that. But for the most part, apart from those weak cyber demons, everything still acts the same. It's just different colors.
You spent a long time on that.
Yeah, the palette required like quite a lot of work. I think you want to talk a bit about this insane.
Yeah. So, there's two cyber demons scrolling on the floor in like a U-shaped pattern up the top, and they all just keep circling around the room, firing at you. To the left of those archviles or those flaming fellas, there is a switch you can shoot that will raise a wall in front of them, so they will stop targeting him. To the right of that, there's a little red light that will appear to warn you that that wall is about to lower. So that gives Derek at least a second or so to get prepared and shoot the switch. And hopefully I'll get killed.
Yeah, this in testing did not have the little indicator, so it was,
that was a...
it was definitely a bit of a challenge to tell when the vials were going to appear and just instantly explode you.
You had to just get a feel for it and guess when they were going to pop up.
A lot of the fights in this map set were kind of, I don't know, little experiments with what could be done, I suppose. So I wanted to come up with a lot of gimmicks, and then I think when Gazebra sort of saw the tone of what was going on, he decided he also wanted to make things pretty gimmicky and wacky. So this fight is maybe the encapsulation of that mindset.
I was in a very experimental sort of mood when I made this map. I'd also sort of come off the back of playing a lot of Rubik's content for the very first time. So I was inspired to make a lot of strange fights. This is also the super secret map slot for this set of maps as well. So I felt that because it was a secret map, gimmicky sort of fights was a good thing to have.
Yeah, I just let Gazebra have free reign, really. I feel like we reined in this fight a little bit from its original.
The original was ridiculous, yeah. I think there was at least one more cyber demon, maybe two.
Yeah, I think, there were 3 or 4 cybers originally, and it was a bit much.
Yeah, and you also had to actually kill them as well.
Yeah, so he doesn't actually have to kill those cybers or the archviles. The archviles get crushed and the cybers get teleported away to get crushed. So they will just die kind of on their own as he's doing the rest of the map, which means he doesn't have to worry about it for the UV max. This fight is another kind of, it's a little bit of a troll sometimes. There's a cyber demon to Derek's left here in this set of walls that are raising and lowering, and he occasionally fires rockets through the hole, usually when you're least expecting it.
Yeah, we were joking during one stream that he was called Shroud, because he kept killing one of our testers constantly. Yeah. I thought he was useless, to be honest, but...
Originally, yeah, when I tested the map originally, I was like, oh, this seems fine. Like, the cyber demon isn't really doing that much. And then the other map maker, Scotty, who made map 31 for this map set, he was playtesting, and the cyber just kept nailing him over and over again.
I originally had, I think, chain gunners in there, but they were even more useless than our cyber friend here. So, and yeah, he will also get crushed as well. And now he's entering the secret fight.
Oh, that's where the secret is. I never actually tested where the entrance opened for the secret exit. I just clipped into it when I needed to test.
But to explain this fight, you'll see this light sequence dancing back and forth across the room. It'll change the floor to cyan and sort of paint that color across the floor. When it's cyan, that will hurt the player, so that turns the floor into a damage sort of type. So Derek needs to sort of try to dance back and forth in time to that to avoid taking damage.
So he's going to take tick damage for... he'll take tick damage every time the floor is blue running at him. So as long as he stays in front of this little beam of light on the ground, then he's going to be okay. But he can't really afford to take the extra tick damage on top of dodging all this stuff. This is the only... I made maps 1 to 6. There's also a map 7 that's kind of like a credits map. And then Scotty and Insane Gazebo, they made 31 and 32 respectively, but they just made their own maps. Like completely, I didn't really have any say in those maps or anything apart from testing them, obviously. But this was the only fight where me and Gazebo actually sort of properly collaborated, I guess, and we worked on the monster placement and stuff together, and I think it came out pretty fun in the end.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. It's very, very tough, but it's I think one of the interesting fights in the map for sure. Alongside another fight that's coming up a bit later.
This room also just looks insane. It looks
it does. Yeah, that simple like trick with the light sequence and that flat color just looks lovely.
I do remember Gazebo messaging me, tearing his hair out about this light sequence there at various intervals.
Yeah, it was very frustrating to set up, but once I got it working, absolutely, yeah.
This fight's very much, Derek's just going to need to stick in these closets and use the cover here as much as possible, and then he's just going to be spamming the plasma gun.
Yeah, there's a lot of very dangerous stuff outside of these corners, so yeah, you want to hang in here, feel safe to leave.
And this is the point in the run where everyone's really thankful that I changed the plasma gun sound, because if it was the default one, you'd all be deaf.
Yes.
Sort of a notorious sound in the Doom community. It's very loud and hits like a certain pitch that I think they use to scare teenagers away from mall parking lots.
And I should probably change it in my map pack as well, actually.
All the best people do.
And if Derek also falls in that pit behind him, there's no way out. He'll have to just load. That's something I enjoy putting in my maps, are pits that you can't easily get out of. I just like to, tense the player up a bit, make them a bit more anxious.
Yeah, there are quite a few inescapable pits on Ultra Violence in this map set, but I did endeavor to make this a little more accessible. So on the lowest difficulty, most of the pits you can get out of with teleporters that only open on that difficulty, and a lot of the platforming as well has been tweaked to be a lot easier on the easiest difficulty, because not a lot of people enjoy platforming in Doom, I'll be honest. It's definitely a bit of a niche aspect of the game, simply because the movement's a little bit difficult in Doom to get used to. So platforming on small stuff can be a little bit tricky if you're not used to it.
So yeah, you can see there that the floor is sort of raising behind him in a wave. He does not want to get caught in that.
That's a reverse crusher, basically. It's going to press him into the ceiling and make him into paste.
Due to the nature of the way I had to set it up, if a monster gets caught in it, that wall will not lower until another cycle. So if you see some balls sort of stuck to the ceiling, that's why. And Derek did sort of trigger the secret, but didn't actually go into it. If he had gone in there and activated the switch at the end of that, there would have been some extra platforms that would have raised up that he could have danced onto to make this a bit easier. But yeah, Derek's very, very good at Doom and doesn't need any of that help.
He's doing it to show off, I think.
Well, if you're going to show off, this is definitely the place to do it.
He does need to hit the secret though, for the UV max. So he does need to get that secret.
Yeah, that's right.
But he doesn't need to like go all the way through it. He's just making sure that he gets every single secret so that it counts as a proper UV max for the category.
Yeah.
Also, he's making this look very easy. Like, he's been playing extremely well the last few fights, so I'm just crushing it. But I can guarantee you that most people will not be getting through all these fights this easily on ultraviolence.
No. This is a very tough map, and it used to be harder in some of the earlier versions. I did actually nerf quite a few of the fights because when you see players like Derek sort of struggling a bit on some of it, you know you've gone too far.
Yeah, I had a lot of very good high skill testers, so I was pretty able to tell whether things were too difficult. Because if any of them were struggling, then probably needed to nerf a few things. He's just got to clean this stuff up, press a couple of switches, and then on to the next scenario.
There might be a couple of late teleports for these Hell Knights because they tend to block the teleporter exits a bit, but I think no, they've been cooperative by the looks.
Now I need a version 1.9. See if it version 200 of this one. Oh, and he saved the Mega Sphere too.
Oh.
Is there a monster alive somewhere?
Yep. Not sure where.
Hopefully not in the pit. I don't think that's possible, right?
Shouldn't
Not
be.
here. I just keyframe that back.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
because he didn't
that-
make a save, he's just gonna... This particular Port of Doom has a rewind mechanic where you can't go back. We sort of discussed it and decided we'd rather use saves for this run rather than the keyframing because it can be a little jarring. But in that instance, because he didn't have a save, he would have had to go back. It would have been like quite a big time loss. So for the sake of time, it makes sense to rewind.
Yeah, absolutely. So for this fight, Derek cannot shoot. If he does, a large amount of archviles will pop in and instantly kill him. And now, so normally, Cyber Demons can't fight each other, but because that's a normal Cyber Demon in the center of the room and those weaker ones, they count as different monster types and, well, they can fight each other. And that's what he has to do here is get the stronger Cyber Demon in the middle to kill the outer ones. And hit some little switches on each of the four sort of spokes of this room before he can leave. And then, once he leaves, everything that will get crushed that hasn't been killed. But this
is one of those things that probably you're like, oh, this must be pretty easy, right? But he has to stand directly in front of this Cyber Demon, and he has to make sure that the rockets get fired through this tiny gap, because although these two monsters can infight, neither of them take splash damage, so he can't get the large Cyber Demon to get hit a rocket on the wall and the splash damage will trigger the infighting. They have to get hit directly, so he has to stand exactly in the middle of this this little gap in order to start the infighting. So very easy to get hit by a rocket.
Cyber Demon did not want to start shooting them.
Also, you can thank Gazebo for putting 0 health in the stream, so if you do get hit by a rocket, you're in some trouble.
Hey, I can put some more health in here if you want. I'll put some stim packs in.
I don't want to release another version. Fine.
And this fight was inspired by something that, again, Rubik's did. He had a similar sort of setup, but it wasn't nearly as tight as this. It wasn't... Sure.
There is a backup Cyber Demon if the original one happens to die. So, because if there wasn't, then you wouldn't be able to get out of here without shooting, which would trigger the 50 archviles to come and blow you up instantly.
Exactly. Yeah. I've seen at least 2 people streaming this map that have had a mutual sort of kill between the middle Cyber Demon, like the second Cyber Demon, and the last weaker one as well. So. I almost contemplated putting a third one in.
saw someone ask why he's numbering saves, and it's just so that he knows which save to reload. Because he's basically just saving before each fight, and then it means that he could go back. Say maybe he messes up a save too, and that way he can just go back. He knows that the previous save is going to be previous fight.
This is the final fight. This is actually one of the very first rooms I built. Shout out to Bridgebanner of all people that inspired me with this room, because he does a lot of radial symmetry in his mapping, and this is one of my very first attempts at it, believe it or not.
Another fight that Derek's probably going to make look deceptively easy, but it can be pretty tricky. These teleporters on the outside. At the moment, it's just imps coming out of them, but cyber demons do come on those teleporters, and if you run into a cyber in this fight, it can just be the end. So yeah, you see him there. He saw a cyber demon, and he did a little shimmy to turn back in the other direction so that he didn't get stuck.
And not only with air rockets do a lot of damage, though rockets will also sort of push you around a bit as well, particularly with the vials in the middle. You can easily get bumped into their line of sight. And,
yeah, the other scary thing here is you're firing the BFG, and for those who aren't aware, when you fire the BFG, there's a big ball that comes out, and then there are a bunch of what's called traces. They're like little explosions that happen from the direction the player is facing. And if, with Archviles, if you hit an Archvile, they basically get infinite range on their next attack. So if he's firing the BFG in that room and he hits one of those Archviles, they're going to be able to hit him from across the room much more easily.
Yeah, and
looks like these TPs might still be a little slow.
I tested this.
we did a test of that to make sure it was
yeah, but still too slow.
still a little bit slow.
And there we go.
But yeah, that's the map. Good job, Derek. That was sick. Good run.
Yeah, very good.
Started off a bit rough, but got better.
Yeah, I think you were just warming up a little bit at the beginning. That opening room certainly got you back into the flow, I think.
All right. Go to map 6.
Yeah. So this map 6. This is technically the final map of the final map of the actual sort of series of maps, and Gazebras and Scotties are the two secret maps on 31 and 32. This opening fight is actually, it's like slightly inspired by a Sunlust fight as well. Map 24's opening, if anybody in chat knows that one. And yeah, it was sort of playing around with themes, I suppose, when I made this map. So there's like quite a lot of different themes that occur throughout this. Tried to do some stuff that texture-wise that I hadn't really seen too much, and trying to link together like a lot of completely different themes to make it look a bit more visually interesting. And I mean, a big goal of the project was to have maps that they tie together through their theme, but they're also sort of different enough to be memorable. This is kind of a new strat, essentially. Basically, in practice just before earlier today, Derek was figuring this out. So it's new tech. He's trying to basically just sprint by to hit a switch, but this he needs to get a little bit lucky with this Archvile to make sure that it gets hit, so that it's not going to be targeting him. So yeah, you might see a couple of reloads here while he tries to get this one.
And yeah, I mean, Archvile in fighting is quite tricky. They behave very differently from a lot of the other monsters.
Yeah, Archviles can attack things that hit them, but the things that they're fighting with can't hit them back. They don't actually aggro onto them. So if the Vile kills can just sort of kill the enemy by blasting it down without the enemy retaliating. So you're never going to get a vial that just gets killed from the infighting, essentially.
And that also means that if you do accidentally hit the vial while he's infighting, or in fact in the middle of a shot, you'll instantly swap to target you. Which, yeah, can be a problem.
Also, all the health for this fight is kind of located in these little alcoves where the monsters came out of. So Derek has to sort of wiggle through them all to get to the health, which is that's sort of what was causing a lot of deaths. He was quite low and couldn't really get to the health there before he'd gotten to that switch.
I remember testing this fight. Yeah, I think this was the one fight that gave me the most trouble, actually, when I was testing. I died a lot here.
Yeah, it's interesting, different people having different challenges in each map.
Yeah, I kept getting cornered by the weaker cyber demons when I was playing. But,
Yeah, a couple of weak cyber demons here and a big one, and they're sort of here to do a lot of the work for you. If you play a lot of like challenge and slaughter maps that people put out, it's pretty common for cyber demons to be used more as a tool for infighting rather than just as something to kill. So there are a lot of fights in this where, you know, Derek's going to deliberately leave a cyber demon alive in order to get them to do a lot of the work for him, because they're strong enemies that they do a lot of AoE damage and can clear out packs of monsters.
Yeah, in fact, yeah, when I was mentioned earlier about infighting being like a big cornerstone of slaughter and challenge maps, cyber demons are usually that infighter a lot of the time. There's usually cyber demons placed for that exact reason. And it can often be the objective, like in a fight, to pull that cyber demon into a particular spot and have him act as almost a barricade of sorts against large groups of enemies.
Derek a little unlucky with his save, I would say here, because he has these cybers kind of clumped up on one side, and they're kind of keeping him really contained. They do so much damage that if you're caught between two, you're in a lot of trouble very quickly. So he's trying to get out of this area a little bit while they infight so that he can kind of pull them into the monsters, but they're not cooperating at all. Yeah, this is a much better spot. Oh, well, I say that. I'm just jinxing him live. That was my fault. That was also my fault. This is the other thing, is that in a lot of these maps, when you are getting cyber demons to infight, both of those rockets were most likely aimed at whoever they were fighting and not him at all. So it wasn't that he mistimed his dodge or anything, it's just that he ran out when a rocket happened to be flying by, and then it's instantly you're dead, because it does so much damage.
And because those rockets are low, because of the nature of the rockets as well, they can push you around a little bit as well. So if you do get clipped by one, that can push you into other fire and a run.
But also, if you get a high roll on stuff in this game, like I'm not sure if it's a damage threshold thing, but your screen will go red for a set amount of time. Depending on the amount of damage you take, it goes redder. So with a cyber demon rocket, you tend to not be able to see at all when you get hit. So it pushes you back. It does an immense amount of damage, and it makes your screen red, which is totally disorientating. So it can often just mean death in a fight.
The other thing as well that can happen is they can kill the enemy they're targeting and instantly swap to you sometimes as well.
Yeah, that is true.
And
that was another instance. Random Revenant rocket from across the map there. But I don't even know where that was from, but they really got it out for Derek in this map. So you'll notice he's not killing this stuff. He's going to come back later on and clean that up when he gets the BFG later in the map, most likely.
I want to see if we can kill the vial right now.
Yeah, so you don't want to leave the vial alive because it will revive a whole bunch of enemies. Not only do they do a lot of damage and have infinite range if you attack them, and they also hit scan, but they can revive other monsters. So Vile's kind of notorious as being one of the most difficult enemies.
They're also very fast as well. Their movement speed.
Yeah, they're fast and they're like the same size as the player, so they can actually follow the player into places where a lot of monsters can't.
I was really impressed by this fleshy area you made, Nirvana. You went to the trouble in some cases of tracing out the 4 textures to blend them together and stuff.
Yeah, this took a long time.
Yeah. I think we both spent quite a long time in our maps, so and when did you start this
doing
project? 2 years ago, I think. Longer?
Yeah, I think this started about 2 years ago. Probably could have been finished if I was a little bit. Probably could have been finished a bit sooner if I was a little bit more ready to just sit down and focus on it. But yeah, about 2 years, I think. And I guess to the point about this area in particular, doing sort of natural geometry in Doom is quite difficult because you're working with vertices, so you're basically mapping out each point individually and then connecting the lines to build each map. So things tend to end up a little more blocky in general, sort of just the nature of Doom and its engine.
Yeah. It's because those vertices are locked to a grid, which is a big thing. So
Yeah.
you can only lower that grid down to 1 pixel. You can't go any lower than that unless you're in more advanced formats, which we're not using today.
You can obviously do like perfect spheres and things like that.
You can.
But when you're doing more natural stuff, you usually want to draw it out by hand, just so that it doesn't look. If you have a bunch of perfect circles next to each other, it doesn't look quite as natural. So all of this was drawn by hand, each vertice placed meticulously.
There are other ways to do it, I've seen, but yeah, I typically do it the same way. I'll just sit there and just slowly draw my curves out sort of gently with my mouse and adjust them as
Yeah, if you, there is sort of scripting and stuff that you can do in order to get this stuff, get some perfect shapes much more easily.
Is that
But I don't have that talent.
Yeah, I noticed. There's another mapper, Tango. He uses the draw curve tool to do his natural stuff. I don't
think I've ever used that one time. Actually, this fight can be kind of nasty. It's very enclosed. It starts off relatively easy, but as the walls lower, which you'll see in a second, things sort of get worse and worse, basically.
Yeah, I remember this definitely killed me a few times when I first played it.
This was, I think this was actually the first encounter that I built for this map. This was the first part of the map that had actual gameplay. And I built this and then I just tested it over and over and over again to make sure all the timings were correct and to make sure that, well, that it was actually possible. Because I believe it was much harder when I first sort of started it, and then I had to, as I quite often do, I had to sort of rein it in a little bit.
Yeah. I made a similar fight to this in one of the maps in Sunder, but it's not nearly as nice. Oh, no.
Wow, what a shot. That was unlucky. That Cyber was just ready to shoot from the day he was born.
Yeah. That was like his one purpose. Was to make that
Again,
shot.
Derek's movement here is actually much more precise than it looks. You do not have a lot of room to get around the Barons and Hell Knights there. It's really tight. So he's actually pulling the monsters to the left, and then he has to go a little bit forward, and then he has to loop around them to get behind them, and he needs to get this Cyber Demon to infight them at the same time. So he's doing a lot of things at once very quickly, and if he does misstep at all, he just dies, essentially. But luckily, these are the weak Cyber Demons, so you can at least kill them pretty quickly. Wow, that looked like a max damage Revenant Rocket right there.
Almost certainly, yeah.
I think there was also a punch in there.
Revenant's putting in work. Get a little secret here, just some cells, a little bit of health. And he's gonna jump into this. This is intended to be the final fight of the map, but he is gonna do a little trick here. I'll let it speak for itself.
Almost.
That was very close to first try. So he's just used this Archvile. The Archviles blast you up in the air, and if you're running while they're doing it and you keep your direction the same, you can use it to get a whole bunch of momentum and jump really far and out of places that you're not supposed to get out of. So he goes in, activates the fight, and then Vile jumps out of the fight. So everything in that fight is going to basically... it just means he doesn't have to do the fight properly, and he can go clean up the rest of the map that he left and deal with a couple of other things, and he'll come back and he'll clean it up in a much more like convenient and quick way at the end. So this is all stuff that was there at the beginning that he ran past. And he's got the BFG now, so it makes cleaning it up very easy. And these poor guys have just been stuck in this hole the whole time.
You didn't even give them a magazine to read.
Pretty unbelievable.
I'm not sure what demons would read though.
Anti-Doom guy propaganda, no doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, this MIDI was definitely a lot of the time when you're making maps, the music that you choose influences the map quite a lot. So this
Absolutely, yeah.
particular MIDI made a big difference in how I went about designing the map when I got it put in place. So yeah, these are all these Kaka demons are all from the final encounter, and he's running along here because there are some cyber demons in the distance, and he's trying to get the Kakos hit by the cybers to start some infighting for him, so that this stuff will clean itself up a little bit while he goes and does the secret encounter, which is what he just grabbed the purple key for.
Is that why he delayed the pickup on the key, or?
Sort of.
Well, yeah. He has to go back there to start the infighting anyway. So.
Yeah.
Sure. Right. Yeah, this secret fight, ow, that absolutely kicked my butt. Although I think you've tweaked it a bit since I last played it though.
Yeah, so this fight actually, if you come here before, because this map you can actually go 2 separate routes around the map. You can go and you can get the yellow key first, or you can get the red key first, and they both meet up in the middle, and then you can do the final encounter. But if you do the final encounter before you find the secret, the fight actually gets harder because you have the BFG. So I made a few extra things teleport in to make it more difficult if you have BFG, because otherwise the fight was way too easy. Usually you would just have the plasma gun here.
That's right. I actually do remember finding that you'd done that in the editor, because the first time I saw it was different for somebody else. I was really confused. And yeah, I went to check, and yeah, I thought, yeah, that was a really good idea. There's like a delay between the 2 cybers, I believe, if you don't get the BFG, is that right?
There's a whole extra big cyber demon that gets added if you grab the BFG.
Oh, I see, there was 3. Oh, so yeah, 2 small and 1 big, right. Yeah, because there was, if you don't get the BFG, you just sort of get 1 small one, and then another one comes in a bit later, if I recall correctly.
Yep, that's correct.
Yeah, because I remember that the second one absolutely surprised me, because I was over on the other side when he teleported in and killed me instantly.
So Derek's just picked up the white key, which is only available in this map. The purple key is in every map for a secret fight, but there's another extra secret area in this map only that you get a white key for, and Derek's gonna go do that. And I do enjoy seeing people's reactions to this area for the first time.
This is very cool.
So this is the tree from earlier, you might have noticed. And then boom. And everyone falls there. It has to happen. It's destiny.
So actually,
And now,
when I was like looking for stuff for the showcase, this is one of the parts that Derek sent me, and I was like, this is cool as hell. We gotta have this.
That's great. Yeah. Well, I mean, thanks for having it on, for sure. It's really cool to be able to show this off.
Yeah, of course.
yeah. In fact, I think you're inspired by what was it? One of the Nier games, I think, for this.
Yeah, there's an area in Nier Automata that has this kind of sort of a similar effect. So that was like a loose inspiration for this, but also I was just kind of really interested in the idea of, because I do a lot of my detailing just using like different lighting levels when I map. So here I just wanted to have only white, and then every single bit of detailing in this area is just done with different lighting levels. So there are no different textures, it's just all white, and then everything is done with different light values.
Yeah.
And then these cacodemons are just meant to be, yeah. There's like no real custom enemies, I suppose, for the rest of the map set, except for those weaker cybers. And I just wanted these to be like a real surprise for people, like to make it kind of feel like you're not supposed to be in this area, and they don't count to the kill percentage. So for one thing, it hides the secret nicely. People do not expect it when they end up in that area, and there's like 200 of those guys. And then on top of that, it means that for Derek, who's doing a UV max, he doesn't have to kill everything in that area, because it's actually quite difficult to clean up all of those. So I figured it would make it a little bit better if he can just sort of sprint through it. And I saw someone ask if the BFG was doing more damage. They actually have really low health, those dark academians. They have like something like 30 or 60 health or something, just to make it so that you can push through them really easily.
Derek's also very good at using the BFG.
Yeah, using the BFG, again, he's making it look easy, but it takes a long time to get used to how it works, because it has a lot of strange little quirks.
And time is coming up. And time.
Wonderful.
Beautiful. 14:37. It's pretty good. Pretty
I
good
was
time.
hoping for a time of under 14 minutes for this. That's at least what I'll be targeting when I actually do single segment attempts for this map.
It was still, I think once again it was like the start was kind of the sticking point, and then after that it was relatively smooth, I think.
Yeah. You just spend
And
more
I think-
time trying to iron that out.
I think the start was only difficult because you went for a strat that you basically just started doing before the event went live.
A little. It's a good strategy though. They have a lot of time with it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
it's Fractured World.
Super cool map.
There's a lot of fantastic community-made maps for Doom 2, and I highly encourage everybody to check some of them out. My personal favorite probably is Valiant. It's an older set by Skillsaw, 32 maps, has a few custom enemies, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, this one's obviously available for download now on usually Doom World is the way to get it. It's on ModDB as well. I put it up there, and there's a map by Scotty in there, and there's also 5 other maps to check out with varying gimmicks and stuff.
And I believe that's it for us.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, of
It's really
course.
cool to get to show this off.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on. Got a couple announcements before we go to break. Like I said earlier, one and done-a-thon submissions are open until November 21st. It's a new marathon series that I'm pioneering on GDQ, where every runner gets one submission, and if you get accepted, you only get to run once, and then you never get to run again in that series. Super excited, looking forward to the runs people are submitting. If you missed out on any GDQ HotFix shows, you can check out past archives, including this, the Ultimate Doom run from earlier, and the Zelda run from earlier at youtube.com/gamesdonequick. And if you're watching this on YouTube, hello, and join us at twitch.tv/gamesdonequick most nights at 7 p.m. Eastern, and you can see all this stuff live. And GDQ Summit Best Segments is a highlight channel that's just short little clips from a lot of these runs, highlight reels for main events and all the HotFix shows. So check out !highlights in chat for more info. And before we go to break, HotFix is funded in part thanks to subscriptions and bits. So feel free to subscribe to us if you want to support the channel or to not have to see ads, so you get to hear game music. But other than that, I think we'll go to a break and swap over to our final game of the night, Doom 64. Sorry, my cat just knocked over something, but hey everybody, welcome back. Final run of the night. Sorry, a little distracted by that. We've got Zelo with Doom 64, Watch Me Die Max. I'm actually super stoked to see this run. I've played Doom 64, and that game is hard. I could not imagine doing everything on the hardest difficulty. I am not great at the classic shooters like this, but Zelo, go ahead and take it away.
Thanks. I'm Zelo, or Zello, however you want to say it. Like you said, we're going to be doing Doom 64, Watch Me Die Max. You just saw some great ultra-violence map set stuff in the last run, so we're going to be getting 100% kills and 100% secrets on every level, with one exception on the very first, which we'll talk about. I'm also joined by Windu, if you want to introduce yourself real quick.
Hey everyone, I'm Windu. I picked up this game to route last year. It was basically my 2020 project. I was really hyped to see a re-release of this game. It was one of my favorite games as a kid, and a lot of quality of life improvements with the remaster. And I did the initial routing. Zelo did a lot of ammo routing polish, and yeah, you're all in for a great run, for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun time, but we'll go ahead and get started here. This is a very long and difficult run, definitely the most difficult category I've run for this game. I've run the original game since about 2014, so I have a lot of experience, and even then, this is still a really scary category. But we'll go ahead and get started. Watch Me Die is the equivalent of ultra-violence, in case you're wondering. But I'm going to go in 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, so right off the bat, we reverse get the Berserk pack. That's gonna do a lot of work because there's a couple Pinky hordes, those pink ball demons. So we're gonna Berserk punch a couple of the hordes in this level. As Zelo mentioned, this is the only level in the entire run that has the exception where we can't max it. There's two things about that, actually. One is we don't see a result screen because we take the super secret level. You notice him blowing up all the barrels. That's going to reveal a lift, which takes the teleporter to level 32, Hectic. So we'll talk about that when we get there. But also, yeah, there's no result screen, and there is one secret out of 4 in this level that we can't reach because it's actually an out of bounds. So here we go with the first horde of pinkies. Pretty good luck overall, I'd say.
Yeah, it was better than it could have been. That's an incredibly random section.
Yeah. Got a couple med kits here for safety. We do want a lot of health going into Hectic. Oh, they're going down quickly for this one.
Yeah, you can kill them in 1 punch or you can kill them in like 5. It's very random on this first map.
Yeah, Berserk, so the Fist is already a big range, it's like 2 to 10 or something, and then Berserk multiplies it by 10-fold, so it's a huge range. Alright, so getting the last secret here, Supercharge, we're almost topped off, 200 health, 157 armor, looking pretty good. So this is the last barrel here, and we're going into Hectic. So this is the super secret level. This actually unlocks the features menu, which is basically the cheat menu of Doom 64. We're only required in this category to get 100% kills and 100% secrets. We're not required to get all the keys and take the secret exit. That's just something we decided on. Because in the remaster, once you unlock the features menu via Hectic secret exit, you have it for good on your game. So, and this is probably the scariest room, with 4 Hell Knights, 2 on each side, and you're kind of stuck at the end, at the door. First try, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's a very scary room that a lot of it runs in there.
Yeah.
You want to talk about key bumping coming up?
Yeah, so key bumping, I noticed it actually happening in the previous runs earlier in the night. So basically, you run at like a pedestal that a key is on, and you run it from an angle, so you have both the your forward and your strafing momentum. And what that does is it gives you a little bit of a speed boost, and you can actually grab the key, get yourself in there before it ejects you for like a frame or something, before you get thrown back out. So we got the blue key that skips having to do a puzzle. And normally in the speed category, we would press that switch to avoid these crushers, but there's some weird like trigger shenanigans going on. When you grab the red key, there are 2 imps that spawn in this little basement area. Sometimes they don't, and you have to come back to that area, so we just kind of forego that RNG. Coming up, we see some advantage to having an early rocket launcher with these 3 Spectres in the hallway. Normally we would just have... nice. Yeah, normally we would just have the shotgun and chain gun. Take a little longer. And coming up is one of the only breaks we get in like the first 2/3 of the run. So we press the switch, you see these pistons outside, crushing down the floor to get to the next part of the level. It's like a 15-second intermission. And this is, it really shows off like the uniqueness and creativity of Doom 64 scripting, I want to say. And you're going to see a lot of that, like just general level transformations like that throughout the run in the game. So coming up, we have a huge hit scan area with a lot of crates. Kind of a mess, but chain gun should make quick work of it.
Yeah, chain gun gets used a lot in the first half of the game. There's a lot of shotgun guys and weaker enemies, so the chain gun's good at picking them off.
Yeah, and speaking of, it's actually a bit different than the PC Doom chain gun. It's faster. I think it's just overall generally better. There are a few slight differences, just weapon-wise overall. So I can talk about that real quick while I have time. The chain gun is a little faster. The plasma gun is slower. Doesn't have recoil, but it's a lot slower. Just it's not really worth it in this category to use. And the chainsaw is actually really good. It has like double DPS of the PC Dooms. And speaking of weapons, we picked up the super shotgun for the first time, and that's pretty much going to be like the workhorse of this whole run. And so Zila peeked into that room and then went back out. Basically started a like little trigger transformation sequence with this centerpiece going up, and then he went back and took care of the Nightmare Imps. Nightmare Imps are basically the Spectre equivalent for Imps, unique to Doom 64. And here we have a switch that we press to reveal the yellow key. This is actually a good time, I think, to talk about what we call spawn blocking. So when the doors finishes opening up for the yellow key, there are, I believe, on Watch Me Die, 2 Cacodemons and 6 Lost Souls, and those specific enemies have to die in order to get access to the yellow key. But if either Doom Guy or a different enemy is in where that monster would spawn, it never spawns, which is good for 2 reasons. One, there's less to kill, and 2, it actually doesn't count towards max kills. So it's actually kind of unique to Doom 64 in regards, in comparison to PC Doom, where there's normally monster closets that monsters teleport into, and they've always been there. But with Doom 64, they don't exist until they spawn in, basically. So if they never spawn in, they don't count towards the max kills, which is really nice, and we're going to see a lot of that in play throughout the whole run. So coming up on the end of main engineering here, just doing a little bit of cleanup. Coming up to holding area next, which is actually going to contain the first secret level aside from Hectic that we're going to get to. Also, speaking of, there's going to be a flashing lights warning in about 15 seconds when we pick up that soul sphere.
Yes, thank you for that. Yeah. The moment we pick up the soul sphere, it's going to get very bright, so if you are prone to bad things with flashing, please look away for the next 15 seconds or so.
Yeah. Yeah, just this little hallway. Basically an alarm, I guess, that gets sounded when you pick up the free soul sphere, and you can all look again. You're good. So coming up here, Zelo's gonna fire a couple rockets at the wall, which it's kind of interesting for Doom as a whole. A lot of the calculations that are done don't take height into account. So what that did is actually deal a lot of splash damage to lost souls that were below there. And that either aggroes them or just outright kills them. And we do that so that we don't have to go around in that bottom area. And we can just save time, have them come to us. So coming up on the final part of this level, there's going to be a few lost souls and a switch puzzle coming up. You have to press the switches in order, in a specific order, to open up a platforming section to get to the secret exit. So going from right to left, it's 3, 1, 2, 4, I believe. So that's going to actually also spawn another group of lost souls after that. I'm just cleaning up the Hell Knights in the normal exit, but we're not going to take the normal exit. Looking pretty good on health and armor as well.
Yeah, this is usually a lot better than normal. The Hell Knights like to knock me off this platform half the time, though, so we're going to see. Okay, that went fine. I hear a lost soul.
Ooh,
there we go.
Good catch.
You'll see me quick save at the end of every level in case I don't get 100% kills or miss a secret. I can quickly reload and go back. That's the really nice thing about running this version for a marathon, is that just additional safety.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so the first proper secret level aside from Hectic. So there are these things in Doom 64 called demon artifacts, which we are required to pick up for the full game WMD Max. So that's basically just a secret key within a secret level. So it takes a bit of work to find, and it's very possible that you don't find it in the first casual playthrough. Even the secret level at all could be tricky to find. But there's also the demon artifacts that are pretty well hidden. So we're coming up on the maze here. We do want to take a specific path. How it works is there's 3 ledges you can drop down, and that determines where the yellow key and its corresponding imp by it will spawn. So we routed it out to take the furthest ledge from the exit.
Jerk blocked me. That's okay. He died at least, but he got in the way. So I had to go back for it. So we're just going to grab these other secrets. And it's important to note that you can have secrets that are tagged as line defs, like you cross a certain point in the ground. There's also secrets that are tagged as items when you pick them up. And that's kind of important for later.
Yeah, actually, there are a lot more secrets in just this room than you would think. The mega armor that was picked up is a secret, the backpack is a secret, the supercharge, and the unmaker, actually, which we just picked up. That is pretty crucial to what we get from the demon artifacts. So each demon artifact that we pick up does two things. It powers up the Unmaker, and it allows us to make the final level way easier. So it's normally a gauntlet, but we can custom switches and gates. We'll get there, or we'll talk about more when we get there. So it's actually another good thing to talk about now with multitasking, as far as we hit the switch in the center there to start the script, but there's still enemies that are like roaming around. You generally want to start scripts like that as soon as possible because you'd otherwise be just like waiting around doing nothing. So time management is of the utmost importance. Like you want as little downtime as possible in general.
You also got to see the Unmaker for the first time. I already picked up a demon artifact for it, so it's firing faster than normal. It's normally very slow, but with one demon artifact, it's already a better weapon than the plasma gun, so hopefully you won't actually see me use the plasma gun. If I did, that's a mistake.
Yeah. I also like how, like, if you're out of ammo, it just auto switches to the plasma gun. Like, it really wants its time in the sun.
I always forget that's a thing.
Yeah. So, level 5 Tech Center, this is the first, I would say, like, complex of the main levels. Right off the bat, you have, like, 8 different paths you can choose. It's, like, a really interesting, like, octagon of choices. It could take a while on the first casual playthrough. But yeah, slowly trudging along. I think another important thing to talk about is ammo management. It is pretty crucial, especially in this run, because you do have to kill everything, at least everything that spawns. So what Zila does typically is he has benchmarks throughout the run, for like especially rocket counts, and I think cells to a lesser degree, but rockets are the big one. Just as an indication of how he's doing ammo-wise overall. Another thing that he does is counts monsters for some crucial rooms. So there's going to be a lost soul area coming up near the end, and I believe there's 7 lost souls.
Yeah, 7.
Yeah, 7. So basically, just count them as you go, as you kill them. Make sure that you get everything, because unfortunately, there's not like a live monster count anywhere in the HUD. You just have to hope that you get it at the results screen. If not, you have to go back.
Yeah, Wendy was talking about ammo routing a bit. Shotgun ammo is actually really tight in some points. You wouldn't think it would be, but I'm actually going to be very close to running out by the end of this level. So shell management is really important for this one. So I try and use the chain gun in a few places, like right here in this room. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. That's all of them.
Nice. Yeah, chain gun is actually pretty good for just in general for Doom 64, but I would say especially for Lost Souls, because Lost Souls are quite different than their PC counterparts. Not quite the zero cycle.
The worst key in the game, always.
Yeah.
It's on like a little like tiny like drop, and if you go full speed over, or even like somewhat fast, you just end up skipping right over the key. Let's see if we can get the spawn block right here on the Hell Knight. Nice.
Nice.
So not only can you spawn block stuff, but enemies can too. So we use those cacos to just kind of block the Hell Knight from coming in, which requires a very specific movement pattern.
Oh yeah, I was talking about Lost Souls earlier. So yeah, the difference between them and PC Lost Souls, they have half health, I believe, which is really good, but they're also extremely aggressive. They can be really scary despite the minimal health that they have. All right, so hopefully 100. Nice.
Yep, all good. All right, into Alpha Quadrant. This is actually not too bad a level on this category. It's normally really difficult on like the speed categories, but in Max it's not too bad. And there's like a really neat trick we have to activate a secret in a very specific way.
Yeah.
Also, I love getting that shot on the 4 shotgun guys.
Yeah.
That's a very satisfying one to hit.
And this is also one of the few places where you don't really have to worry about your health and armor, because we are picking up a Megasphere secret right now, which tops you off to 200, which is really nice. Despite that, it was pretty good going into it.
Yeah, we're already in pretty good shape, so we're just gonna do a little bit of a tricky movement right here. I want to move these Hell Knights in a very specific way, so I can kind of aggro all of them at the same time. So we're actually gonna hide in this hallway here. That lures the Hell Knight that's around the corner, so that when I can pop around the staircase and aggro the rest of them and get out.
Yeah, there's 4 Hell Knights up there, and you want your rockets to do as much damage as possible and as much work as possible with the splash damage. Speaking of damage, it's probably a good time to talk about how it differs, just how random it can be. Yeah, so a lot of stuff in this game is random. The damage you do is random, the damage you take is random. Like rockets, for example, the direct hits can do anywhere from 20 to 160, I believe, in increments of 20. So that can have a lot of variance, which can make like Hell Knights either take 2 rockets or 4 rockets, it's a rarity, but it happens. Usually 3.
Oh, nice! I didn't think I was gonna get that first jump first try.
Nice.
Getting across that on the getting across that on the re-release, since you don't have extra speed like you would on the console run, it's quite difficult to line that up.
Yeah, nice.
You want to talk about this door that I'm about to open from behind?
Yeah. So I talked earlier about a lot of things in this in the Doom 64 engine. Not having height into consideration. So what Zila did was normally you have to press a switch to open that door to this secret area with the hallway and the specters. The other side, you could just open it normally, I think, just so you don't soft lock yourself. And what happened was he basically came from behind and he was way above it and opened it from just above, and like basically a place that you're very much not supposed to. And definitely shout outs to Headshot for that trick.
Headshot is our tasser for the game. He's a great source of info and a good friend.
Yeah.
So big shout outs to him.
Mm-hmm. And when Zila killed that last Baron at what we like to call the American Gladiator room, he did hesitate for a little bit, because once all the Barons on those pillars are killed, there's a pain elemental that spawns right at the switch. But if we're there, then pain elemental just doesn't show up. So always nice, because pain elementals are really bad in this game.
Yeah, there are some interesting balance changes for monsters, and pain elementals are among the worst of them in terms of like danger.
Yeah.
Anyways, here's a nice little trigger skip right here. We're gonna skip a whole bunch of Lost Souls if I line this up right.
Mm-hmm.
We'll try that again.
I'll talk about this once you get it.
Come on. Let me make sure I'm in the corner properly. There we go.
Nice. And then also coming up is literally the only rocket jump in the run. Oh, nice first try.
Got that first.
But yeah, so you notice that the first couple times Zila was trying to get into the room proper from an angle, but he ran across a line def that spawned like 10 Lost Souls in that room. It makes it very, very crowded. It's similar to key bumping, actually. I think it's a similar concept where you have a really precise angle, a really precise position that you usually line yourself up in a corner with, and you can just make your hitbox essentially skip right over the line depth, and that's going to be useful in a lot of cases, and not so useful in other cases, because a lot of what Doom 64 does, especially in later levels, is it does kind of like bridges, like pseudo 3D mapping, where it like doubles up on floors. You're actually going to see it later on in this level, once we get to like the sewers, like the last part of the level. There's a sector in there that uses both like the sewer part and a part more higher up. That makes sense. And how the game determines where to raise that height, that floor to height-wise, is just once you're out of sight with that particular floor, there's usually a line depth that you cross that insta raises or insta lowers it. So it's a nice little bit of map trickery, I would say. But yeah, the mappers for Doom 64 have gotten really creative with it.
Yeah, especially considering like the N64's original hardware constraints, they made the maps a lot more compressed, and they use like really cool tricks like those to really take advantage of the hardware.
Yeah, nice shot.
Okay, so we're gonna hope that this isn't locked right here. Okay, it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the point where if I missed the trigger, I would have to go back around to get it. And if I were to accidentally step in the room without activating the trigger properly, I would be stuck in a hole and completely soft locked.
Yep.
So glad that didn't happen.
Yeah, because the game kind of assumes that you're running across that area anyway. So like, what reason is there to like do like a safety check or stuff like that?
Well, let's assume there is no safety.
Yeah. All right, so coming up on the last level of episode 1, I guess you could call it episode 1. Last of the moon-based levels. That's one of my favorite shots.
Yeah, that's such a great rocket shot. For whatever reason, the hitbox just doesn't hit you, but it'll hit everything else just fine.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is, I was going to say Outpost Omega. I had one word of it, right?
Final Outpost.
Final Outpost, yeah. So, yeah, so this is the last level for the health levels. And gotta be a little careful here because health is at quite a premium in this level. Lining up a lined up skip here. Nice. Got it. So that skips 7 Nightmare Imps in this winding hallway. We do have to get to the end of it to activate these imps because that lowers the teleporter here.
Also, my favorite key grab in the game is coming up right here.
Yes.
We're gonna line up backwards right here, and we're gonna grab the key with our butt. So I like to call this one booty grab.
Nice. Doom guy got the booty.
Doom guy got the booty.
Alright, so here's another one, another room that Zero counts enemies on. I think 8 shotgun guys, is it?
Yeah, 8 shotgunners.
Yeah. I've definitely got burned by this level before.
I lost track. There we go. Okay.
Nice.
I lost track if I killed the first one or not, so I was a little scared. Because 8 shotgunners in a room that small, all firing hit scan at you gets pretty dangerous.
Yeah. All right.
And speaking of dangerous, here's the danger room coming up.
Ooh, yeah. Kind of run across, save some time here. We could have gotten a Hell Knight spawn. It's kind of like RNG.
Wow. I got knocked out hard.
Yeah.
Let's see if we get it this time. Nope, still no. He's just he wants to show up. Well, okay, we'll let him. We'll give him some time. He's fighting that nightmare imp though.
There you go. So this is one of the instances where the Unmaker really comes into play. It's essentially instantaneous firing, which is more than say for the plasma rifle, plasma gun, whatever you want to call it. And I think it does a little bit more damage. But yeah, definitely a quick way to get rid of these barons. And then coming up, this is such a scary strat to me. Just like go into the final platform for the final baron. But yeah, so
it's a fun strat though.
Yeah. Okay, good. Exit.
Yeah, falling into that pit at the end is instant death. There's no way out.
Yep.
So here's why we saved a whole bunch of rockets during the early game. This is even simpler.
Yeah, even simpler is essentially an homage to Dead Simple from Doom 2. So you got your first wave of Mancubus. Aside from Outpost Omega. Yeah, I got it right. Outpost Omega. This is their first appearance here, and they do quite a bit of damage. So once the Mancubi are done, we move on to a few Hell Knights, a few Cacodemons. The Hell Knights have to die, not necessarily the Cacodemons, for the third wave to spawn, which is definitely the deadliest wave, just because of the Pain Elementals. I think there's like 6-ish Barons, and then 4 Pain Elementals, and then actually also 6 Makubai in the outer.
Oh, this is bad. They're all in the way. Okay.
Nice.
Made sure I could get to the invisibility. Because we want to dash, and we're going to run. We're going to kill him as much as we can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you definitely want to take out those Pain Elementals while you have the Invuln up, because they're extremely dangerous otherwise. But yeah, Pain Elementals, how they differ, they shoot out 2 Lost Souls at a time, and plus, the normal strat, if you play PC Doom a lot, is to, like, when they die, to, like, even if you're fighting them, right, is to face tank them, so...
I saw one go over.
Nah.
There are a bunch of Lost Souls still roaming around. I don't like that. Lost Souls actually do count towards 100% in this game.
Yeah, yeah, that's another difference. Because in PC Doom, they don't. But yeah, normally you would want to face tank Pain Elementals to prevent the Lost Souls from spawning, but if you do that in Doom 64, for whatever reason, failed Lost Soul spawns have rocket splash damage properties. So if you try to do that, you're just pretty much gonna bite it look right there.
Thankfully, we got through that first try. That's a very scary level to play through.
Yeah, good stuff.
So I hope you enjoyed like the 1 second of plasma gun. Hopefully you won't see it.
Yeah, it is required to pick up. It is a secret item. Plus, it's nice to have for the 40 cells as well. So, are you gonna go for the Hell Knight skip or nah? Or like?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, there's a set of Hell Knights that we can theoretically skip if we can skip that line def, but we don't have a consistent setup for it, so I just don't even bother for it, because I have to get these secrets over here anyways.
Yeah, and it's not a terribly long fight anyway. It's just these 4, 2 on this side, 2 on the other side. Oh, what were we gonna say?
No, you good?
Okay. Yeah, once we hit this switch, it's gonna spawn a giant wave of enemies, like in this whole courtyard. So there's like pinkies, there's like 10 imps, 6 Makubai. It's kind of dangerous to like beeline it to the back area of the level because of all the Makubai fireballs. Then you have a bunch of Lost Souls here. It's kind of a mess. But there's going to be a very important line def skip coming up at the end of this level. But before that, we're gonna pick up our first BFG when we're all done clearing out this back area. So we got a bunch of specters.
Yeah, we're actually gonna.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, we'll ignore those specters for a bit. We're gonna use them for a bunch of spawn blocks in just a second.
Yeah, because once you grab the BFG, normally 3 Makubai spawn in the back. But we're gonna try to lure the specters to their spawn positions, see how that goes.
I got 2 of 3. That's good.
Nice.
There's also still 1 specter behind me. I need to make sure I kill him. If I can hit the switch. Switches are hard.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's that line def skip coming up in just a second.
Sometimes there's just a Lost Soul there. So this is interesting because we don't really have a setup.
I heard him
there's
spawn. Try that again.
Let's see here.
There we go. That's good.
Nice. So yeah, this line def skip is quite peculiar because there's no like corners which are level with the line def that we need to skip. That can like
Something's still alive.
that we can easily
pillar
push into. So we use the ledge above it and behind it to line that up, and that basically prevents spawning. Like we just skip a complete second wave of that those enemies, like the ones I mentioned before, the pinkies, the imps, the Makubai. So saves a lot of time.
Yeah, you thought there were a lot before. You imagine double that.
Yeah.
And that's what we just skipped.
Yeah, so not only does it save your time, it saves ammo too, which is like, it basically just doubles up because you can be more liberal with the ammo usage later on in the game. And try BFG shot here with a couple barons.
Not bad.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the power of the BFG right there. It's very powerful, just like as in the PC games. But it's more powerful in Doom 64, not because it does more damage, but because Doom Guy has the booty. So it's really the big fat glutes 9000.
I like that acronym. But yeah, Terra Core in particular, level 10 here, has a lot of that bridge trickery that I was talking about earlier in Research Lab a few levels ago. So there's a lot of line defs that kind of control the floor height and makes it appear that there's bridges that you can go over and under. And it can be easy to skip them if you're just like not being mindful.
I actually did, because you can see the one on the left right there. That one's not supposed to be down.
Yep.
There's also something still alive that should be down. Where is the lost soul? What? Something's wandering around. There he is.
Of course.
Thanks, game.
Yeah. Yeah, Doom 64 has a lot of monster kill triggers like that right there. Everything that spawns when you hit that switch in the back has to die before the pillars in the other side of the room to exit lower. So that's a... You're gonna see that a lot, which spawn blocking does help. We can't do any of that in this case, but it does help in other instances for sure. Alright, so we're coming up on the end of the level here. Just getting a supercharge. Which counts, well, the area that you enter counts the secret area, not the supercharge itself, but it's still nice to pick up for sure.
Yeah, it's like right there, and health is in short supply in this level. In a normal like speed category, you'd be like pressed for health the entire time, but thankfully we can get these extra power-ups in this category, which makes it a lot safer.
Yeah. Getting all the secrets means getting pretty much all of the goodies that it contains. So like, we need everything we can get.
I accidentally fell down, but that's fine. We can go back around.
Yeah. Usually, what you want to do is grab the mega armor and then like kind of hop over back, so you don't have to like make the trek all the way around. Just gonna fire a couple rockets here. Vertical splash damage, or infinite vertical splash damage, picking up on the auto aim slack. Let's see how the barons are positioned.
Reasonable.
Yeah.
And they're grouped up nicely, so the rocket launcher's getting some good splash damage in.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Couple hit scanners here at the end. All right. So far, so good.
Yeah, it's looking good. I haven't missed any 100%, thankfully, so...
Yeah.
Because there's some really nasty ones if enemies decide to wander off. So we've routed a lot of levels in the way so that we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, this is, speaking of routing, this is definitely one of the trickier ones that was routed, in my opinion. Because it's a pretty open level, as you can see. We're going to see like a lot of just open ground and then like center castle pieces. That's a big thing that Doom 64 does with its map design. But yeah, that also means that, especially with Cacodemons, they could just go wherever they want, which is not ideal when you're trying to max it.
I do want to give a shout out to like the great artwork in this game, because they redid all the textures and sprites from the ground up, and it looks really fantastic still.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially this level, because you have stuff like the inverted crosses on the outside of the castle.
Mm-hmm.
They went for the very darker feel with this one, and they really nailed it.
Yeah, definitely plenty of attention to detail, and like it really sets the tone and the mood so well. Yeah. So I don't want to jinx it, but you have plenty of armor, so we don't have to pick up the armor of shame. As we like to call
it right here.
Yeah, so we're forced to press that switch to progress in the level. Unfortunately, there's a green armor in the way, and if you have less than 100 armor, you just pick it up. That's how it works mechanically. Probably a good time to talk about how armor works. So there's two different classes of armor. So there's the normal armor, green armor, if you pick it up, it fills up to 100 armor, and it gives you that armor class, which is it absorbs 1/3 of the damage, and I think it takes 2/3 from the armor points. Whereas Mega Armor, which both Mega Armor and Mega Spheres give you, tops you off to 200, and it changes your armor class to the Combat Armor, or Mega Armor, Blue Armor, whatever you want to call it, which splits the damage evenly between health and armor. So you take half damage, and half damage from your health, half damage from your armor points, which actually makes a pretty big difference, I would say. Like more than you would think as compared to the normal armor. Normal armor is still nice, but it's not Mega Armor. So we want that as much as we can. Alright, this is kind of a
Here's
scary room.
the central altar. Yeah, altar room is very scary. This Baron's not cooperating.
Yeah, normally what we want to do is just pelt them down here and there with shotgun blasts as we group them up, like corral them into just one center area so we can fire a BFG blast at them. Gonna try a spawn block here. Didn't get it, but it's not a huge deal since we're BFGing these Barons anyway. Alright, oh, so also we're coming up on the second secret level. So, let's see. Yeah, just a little
This
bit
one's probably the easiest to find.
Yeah.
Because the way the map is designed, I can show it on the map real quick, but most people find this secret level first compared to all the other ones. The other ones are a little bit more cryptic.
Mm-hmm. We did pick up the green armor there because we were about to run out. We were at like, I don't know, 19 or so. We still did have Mega Armor, but it was about to run out, and it's nice to have like a lot of absorption. So, as opposed to none. Alright, so putting up the Hell Knights at the end here, the normal exit, and now we're going to the secret exit, which Zelo's going to show off, as he said on the auto map.
Yeah, because you can see this on the map. This looks like an arrow on the pillar, so we can just jump into this fake wall.
Yep. It's a nice little secret. Alright. Hopefully this is 100. Nice.
All good. So that brings us to the lair, the second secret level. This is a very difficult opening, and then it kind of eases up a bit, especially since the rest of the level is pretty short once I get out of this intro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we kill 6 imps, 3 on each side. That opens up the blue key pedestal. Now we do have to watch out for these lost souls. Ideally, we kill them all before we get to the next part of the level.
Yeah, that's all 6. We're good there.
Nice. Yeah, this room is
I'm gonna
scary.
move in a very specific way. This is a very scary room.
Yeah, there's 4 Hell Knights, 3 or 4, and there's also specters that block your path if you try to run past, and you're just gonna get caught by the Hell Knight fireballs, and usually eat a lot of damage in the process.
Okay, so now we're gonna get the second demon artifact right over here.
Yep. Small sequence of shoot switches. And that powers up the Unmaker even more, so it's dual firing now, and it's even faster. I would say, like, it almost rivals the BFG at this point. Not quite, but it's getting there. That's a good amount of health to just, like, run to the yellow key with.
Do you want to explain the one secret that we don't grab in this level for reasons?
Yeah, so normally there's, I think, 4 secrets total. So you see Zila interacted with that gargoyle there. That lowered the floor for the Mega Armor, which in turn, once you grab it, gets the supercharge. Those are both secret items, so they're required to pick up. There's another gargoyle you can interact with that spawns a Berserk pack. But if we never interact with it, the Berserk pack is never spawned in. And conceptually, it works the same way as, like, spawn blocking an enemy, or, like, just completely line death skipping them. Whereas, it's marked as a secret item, but it never spawned in, so it doesn't count towards the total secrets. And it's a Berserk pack, and we're not really using the Fist in that level, so. Plus, there's plenty of other resources, like a Mega Armor, 2 supercharges. It tops you out pretty well for Dark Citadel, which we're in now, and as Zio likes to say, the first of the 3 scary levels in the mid game.
Yeah, this level's a beast, and so is the next 2 levels as well. This is like the really difficult segment overall.
Yeah, and we
Not to say the rest of this game isn't scary, but it's really comes down to this.
yeah, and we do want to take as little damage as possible going into once we get the blue key here. And this is, I think this is one of Zio's favorite strats here. Just aggro the Arachnotron, so he's always focused on you, but don't touch the Baron. So he gets mad at the Arachnotron, focuses on the Arachnotron while you're just pelting the Baron in the back with super shotgun blasts. And
yeah, Arachnotrons are very scary in this game because they have dual plasma instead of single, and they fire them really fast. It's easy to just get knocked down from 100 to 0 in like not even a second.
yeah, thankfully they do fire, like, they fire mostly consistency. They have a little bit of breaks here and there, so you can like run through them, but yeah, they're still really scary. And then this is kind of dicey health. Hopefully it goes well.
Everyone's favorite room.
Yeah, the dart trap room.
Uh-oh, nope. I got knocked off course badly. That's why I saved. Yeah, you'd want to normally take an invincibility to this room and just get through here that way, but we're not going to do that because it's faster.
Ooh, nice. Yeah, this room is so scary without invuln because, yeah, not only are there just darts flying everywhere that you can't really avoid, but also they're constantly hitting the Barons, which is good. But once they like do their pain chance, which is pretty likely, I think, given their personal percentage, they'll just retaliate instantly against them because so they fire a lot more often than normal. And Baron fireballs hurt.
Very much.
Baron scratches not so much. Yeah.
That guy didn't die. This is really dicey still.
Yeah.
I think we can
Still
make this
alive?
work, but
Did you pick the supercharge yet or no?
no, I saved that for the end of the level.
Okay. Yeah, there are a few stim packs laying around, but overall, not too much else.
Yeah, we want to get rid of the Cacos now because they like to follow us around through the rest of the level. And it's not very fun when you realize that somebody got stuck in the library.
Yeah, sometimes the Cacos in this level, they like to just read up on stuff, do whatever they want to do. Because there's like a little balcony that they can fly into once you're around this area. And they usually tend to go for it if they're still alive.
How did the Baron end up all the way over here? I have never seen him that far into that hallway, ever.
They just do what they want sometimes.
They really do.
Yeah, like especially if they hug up against the wall, they sometimes can just go all the way to like a corner before they change their mind and turn around. Still kind of scary because there's quite a few hit scanners in this basement library. Alright, taking care of the Baron and getting the switch here to get to the next parts.
This is also my favorite trap in the game coming up right here.
Yeah.
You just grab this bullet box and bookcase instantly lowers. Hello, Baron.
It's a nice little quick time save for just like going all the way around that corner. It's also just really funny. Like a nice little jump scare. Alright, so I think we're gonna try and group up the Hell Knight here, because there's another one over on this corner. We're gonna try and utilize some rocket splash damage if we can.
Didn't even need to. They both died in 2.
That's rare.
That's the best luck you can get. Yeah, because Hell Knights usually die in 3 rockets. They can die in 2 or 4 as well, and they both managed to die in 2, which is very rare.
Yeah. Okay, so once we grab this red key, a whole bunch of stuff's gonna spawn, mostly Cacos and Barons. And we're gonna leave most of it behind. I think we take care of most of the Cacos, if not all of them, before we leave.
I wanted to get that last one, but he's locked behind everything else. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
We'll be back to deal with them in a second.
Yeah, so,
Okay.
The red door here normally goes to the exit, and we're getting the yellow key. Gonna open up the exit door, but not actually hit the exit switch yet, because still got a lot of cleanup to do. But what this does is, as we're anchoring all the Barons of Hell in here, all of the Barons in the lower giant room, where the Invuln was, which we're gonna pick up in a sec, they're all grouping up as well, which we can then use the BFG for maximum efficiency. So, they're actually not too grouped up. Huh. Oh well.
Well, I got a few extra rockets, so this is okay.
Yeah, that's good.
They're grouped up for the rockets, so this is fine.
Yeah.
I want to just check around the corner, too, to make sure there's not an extra imp laying around.
Yeah. Oh, did you get the ones on the balcony, the normal imps?
Yeah, I did. I got him with a chain gun when I was running around with no health. Why? I saw somebody move. Hold on. What are y'all doing here? What? That's a new one right there. This game never ceases to, like, surprise and amaze, even, like, with 7 years of running. So hopefully these Barons are going to be grouped up here.
They're pretty nice.
Yeah, good enough.
Mostly. So yeah, that's what we were talking about earlier regarding grouping. Splash damage with the BFG and the rocket is essential for that.
Somebody's alive. There's a 99.
Yeah, I think it
This is
was
bad.
that imp on the balcony. I'm pretty sure I saw a fireball there.
We'll go look. That's the danger of this category. Yep, you were actually right. I thought I got both of them.
Yeah, I mean, silly time losses, but it happens, you know. It happens pretty often to me, actually.
Yeah, this is just a very volatile category if you're going for really serious PvE attempts. So there we go.
Yeah. All right, so coming up on Eye of the Storm here, the second of the 3 scary levels in the mid game. So what we want to do. Oh,
Okay, there we go. Got him.
yeah, so there's 4 Barons and 4 Arachnotrons. Those are the main enemies on the ground level here. We're gonna get them to infight over here, and there's actually gonna be 2 groups of 8 Pinkies. That spawn once we cross a certain line depth. We're gonna avoid one of the line depths. So right there is we crossed it. So gonna be on the way. Okay, yep. And let's see if both Barons decide to show up here. I
can't even get the first one to show up. I don't even know where he is.
I don't know.
He must be like stuck in the corner or something. There he is.
Yeah, so we want to time the Baron kills really in a really specific way, because what we're gonna do is once all the Barons are dead, the blue key lowers from the balcony in the center. Once it lowers all the way, a bunch of lost souls are gonna spawn from where that balcony was. Gonna keep the door open with our head because we can't open it from that side. Yeah. This is kind of like a silly trigger shenanigans here. We have to wait for the blue key to lower before we can use that lift for some reason. Yeah, so there's currently a bunch of lost souls up in the balcony, right? But they are not aggroed right now, and that's thanks to the quick save and quick load that Zero did just now. It's a weird quirk with quick saving. I guess like the way it works is enemies just that spawn in, they forget that you fired a shot if you quick save and quick load. And that's a nice little way to de-aggro and just save fights for later, essentially, because once we get to the end, another wave of lost souls, once we hit the exit door, would spawn in, but we do block most of them. They're just kind of like conglomerating right by the exit at the moment.
All souls are not cooperating. There we go. These guys are pretty grouped up, though.
That's good. That's a good shot.
They're also infighting with the imps that are right behind them, too, so they're really mad. So we're not going to pick up that soul sphere right there. Yeah, that's all of them. So the soul sphere shows up once you destroy all the barons, but we don't want to pick that one up because picking that one up actually triggers more cacodemons to spawn.
Yeah. We don't necessarily need the soul sphere. Sometimes, like, if we're really in a pinch, we'll pick it up. just, well, not that one in particular, but just like extra out of the way backup items, essentially. It's definitely good to know your backups, especially in this category.
I'm a little worried something I'm going around the corner. I might not get 100 here. Okay, we're fine.
Nice. All right, so last of the 3 really brutal levels. So this is Dark Entries. The hallway that we start off in, once we cross into it, we'll key bump here real quick.
Can't even get myself lined up. There we go.
That's a really easy key bump. Just once you're fudged in, like, you'll eventually get it. You don't even have to wind up for it and like get any speed. But yeah, the hallway in Dark Entries, the main hallway, there's actually turrets that fire once you cross into it. So you have to get out there real quick. And then there's also an arena coming up with a switch at the back end. It's probably one of the scariest parts of the level, I would say.
This is one of the most difficult fights in the entire run, to be honest.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a lot of Arachnotrons and other enemies following me around. I'm just going to very, very carefully make my way over and around, trying to have them aggro other enemies, while I'm also picking up rockets and cleaning up the room.
Yeah, the first thing we want to do once we get into this huge arena is like take out the Lost Souls. Like that's the top priority, because like everything else we can kind of just run around, like circle strafe, make projectiles, hit other enemies, maybe cause a lot of infighting. Looking good overall, I would say.
Yeah, that should take care of most of the stuff. So we're going to pick up the power-ups. Hopefully they did some decent infighting up there. It's mostly Arachnotrons left, so that should be okay.
Yeah, I think it's just these 3. All right, so there's a switch we hit. That's gonna lower the bars to get to the end and the red key. I guess that's another thing we can talk about is Hell Knights and Barons can actually infight with each other, unlike in PC Doom. It's the same thing with Imps and Nightmare Imps. So like, I guess technically they're the same class, but there's like an exception in Doom 64 in particular. This is a really scary rollback.
Oh,
Let's see how it goes. Almost.
Got a little caught. That's not looking good either. That's acceptable.
Alive.
If you're alive, you get out.
Yeah. Nice.
Grab that health, and remember that opening hallway? Well, we're gonna have a whole bunch of stuff covering it now.
Yeah, it's not over. So not only do we have to dodge these turrets, which are essentially like Revenant missiles in Spirit. There's no Revenants in this game, but essentially they're missiles still. There's like 8 Lost Souls, a couple Nightmare Imps, and then Arachnotrons and Barons behind the exit door, which we want them to infight. That Lost Soul tried.
Yeah, he did. I was really scared he was gonna face tank me, and I was gonna die at this health.
Yeah, Lost Souls, they're faster too, like way faster when they charge. All right. And we're out.
That takes care of the scary levels.
Yeah, now a bit of a breather level, I want to say, in Bloodkeep. Really, really nice levels to play, I think.
There's going to be a lot of shell management in this level too. Shells are still in kind of short supply, so thankfully I'm topped off now, but I won't be for very much longer.
Yeah. All right, so let's see. Taking care of the helmets here. Can pick the red key. There's going to be quite a few hit scanners, so hopefully they play nice. Coming up here. All right.
Good enough?
Yeah.
Yeah, they play very nice.
Yeah. You do have the Berserk as well if you need it.
Thankfully, there's also some extra med kits. Okay, now I'm gonna have to grab the Berserk because that guy he was doing his job a little too well.
Yeah, sometimes I don't understand SSG blasts. They just kind of like to phase through enemies at times. But yeah, so yeah, Shell's looking really, really good.
Armor is not, though. That's a problem coming up into this corridor.
Yeah, you want to. So, yeah, for this corridor, you want to press the switch and immediately bolt it out of there because there's a bunch of lost souls that spawn. And they can really ruin your day really quickly. Yeah, the chain gun really saves the day here, I want to say.
Yeah, we're gonna get rid of most of them, and we'll get the rest later, because they'll follow me back. So we'll just deal with them later. Okay, so I've topped off on health again, which is really nice.
Yeah, and got that mega armor too, which is gonna save us a lot. Alright, so we crossed up to this little balcony here behind the grating, which spawns like 8 cacodemons. I think we take care of them after the yellow door. Rare use of the single shotgun, so just because of faster loading speeds mostly, and we don't need the super shotgun for single imps. Gotta be careful here with platforming, because you can't climb up onto those little ledges, those little pillars. Kind of have to go all the way back if you fall. Went pretty well.
Yeah, let's see if we can get these cacos here. I want to do them in 2 BFG shots. I got almost all of them.
Nice.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty good luck. So I'm gonna kind of camp over here so the Lost Souls can't get me while I'm dealing with them.
Yeah,
and thankfully they're all grouped up here, so we can just let them block each other off and just snipe them.
Yep.
All right, another BFG setup coming up right here. We're gonna just kind of drag Hell Knights and Barons out of the way. Wow,
Oof.
that's actually the first time I've died in that room. That's a first.
It's a bit of a scary room because you kind of want to wedge yourself in the corner, take care of the pinkies, while all these Hell Knights and Barons are trying to get at you in your face. Went pretty well.
Look, they wanted my autograph. I guess if you want Doom Guy's autograph, it's hard to get him to stop. He does run at like 60 miles an hour.
Yeah. No wonder he has those really nice boots.
A little more fighting in here. Some parts of this game feel a little unfinished in a few ways. Like some areas that feel like secrets, like behind this bookcase right here, just aren't tagged as secrets.
Yeah, it's kind of
weird.
interesting. I think there's a few other instances just overall in the game like that, where there's things that you'd think would be secrets, like the hectic exit, that aren't marked as secrets.
Yeah, for the longest time, we always thought that super secret exit was the 4th secret, and then Headshot looked at the map data, and it's like, surprisingly, it's not.
Yeah. Alright, so coming up here, we're gonna, after we take care of these cacos and Lost Souls, one last lined up skip for this level. It's gonna skip 2 Arachnotrons and 4 Nightmare Imps. So we're just gonna line ourselves up with just a piece of the gravel on the ground. See how that goes. Nice.
No problem there.
Yeah. So yeah, with lined up skips that usually spawn monsters, no news is good news. Always. If you don't hear anything or don't see anything, that's good.
By the way, don't get stuck in that elevator going down, otherwise you're in a pit that you cannot escape.
Yeah.
Everybody loves those kinds of traps.
That's such a jerk move at the end of a pretty long level, actually.
Yeah, and especially on console when you can't save mid-level, it made a lot of people angry.
Right.
So watch your step. We're definitely gonna watch our step right here.
Yeah, so you see those like crosses on the ground. Those more or less are monster spawn triggers. We do skip most of them. We can't really skip all of them because like some of them extend to both sides of the room, so we can't go around them. Most of them don't, and we just like take 1/4 of the room essentially, and we just skip all the others. So we still have to be careful coming back from this room. Here's another lined up skip coming up. It skips all the imps that spawn on the 2nd floor here.
This cat goes in my way. It's hard to get a visual cue. That sounds good though.
Caco Corpse is always causing trouble. Alright, so yeah, we shoot the doors here and we hit the switches, which those are the secret areas. That's the credit that we get. The items that we get, like that mega sphere on the ledge there, that's not technically a secret, but we definitely want it anyway. especially for this arena fight coming up. Yeah, once we take care of all the stuff in the other room, then come back here, and there's just waves of enemies that spawn. When certain amounts, or like actually certain enemies of each wave are killed, not necessarily all of them, the next wave does spawn. And we do want to keep a bunch of stuff alive generally, just for as much spawn blocking as possible as we can, because the last wave is Mancubus, as you can see, and Arachnotrons, like 4 of each or something like that. And now is a good time to just take a breather, get the invuln, because it's definitely very useful for this fight, this last wave, and plus the 2 cyber demons that show up once we take care of the Arachnotrons and the Mancubi. And it's very important to take care of all the other monsters before you kill everything here, because everything else despawns once the cybers show up. And anything that spawned in does count towards the total kills.
That's bad.
Should be almost dead, hopefully.
Yeah, thankfully, that's why we pick up the Megasphere.
Yeah.
There we go.
Nice. Hopefully that's 100. Alright, nice.
Yeah, any enemies that despawn on the Cyber Demon wave, when they spawn, you will never be able to get the 100% if that's the case, if you left any alive. So that's a very, very scary part.
Yeah, it's essentially the antithesis of the spawn blocking techniques that we utilize throughout the run. It works the other way in a negative fashion, so gotta be careful there. So this is an interesting trigger coming up. For the longest time I thought that you had to press that switch in the back to lower the bar with the blue key, but it turns out that killing all the barons here does the same exact thing. So once you kill all of them, like that switch is essentially useless. A lot of hit scanners here, no trouble at all. I see, yeah. Normally there would be bars there blocking the blue key, but since we took the route to the other barons and killed them, the bars are no longer there. So. Right, giving credit for the secret, getting 50 health with the medkits. It'll be important for the section coming up, I think. Kind of a cramped
Those
area.
guys are really in the way, shoot.
Yeah, and you might have noticed also that there are some imps behind that larger grading that we're just ignoring for now. They're gonna play a part in spawn blocking of the Baron, hopefully, at the end of the level. Whipping out the chain gun here for Lost Souls. Gets the job done pretty well. Lost Souls, I want to say, are just a top priority in any combat situation.
They're just so aggressive on 64 that you really have to get them, because they can just, the moment they face tank you, they can just do it again almost instantly. So
yeah, you would think they're like on,
you gotta get them
on fast monsters, AI or something. All right, so here.
All right, here.
Yeah.
Finally a break.
Yep. So I mentioned during the terraformer with the piston crushing the floor. That's the only break we get in the first like 2/3, and this is the next break after all that. And Kako plushie says hi.
Yes. My wife made me that Kako plushie. It is adorable.
Oh, it's so cute. But yeah, we actually ignore that pain elemental until the wave of Hell Knight spawns in, because what that does, the pain elemental is de-aggroed there. I think the room there is soundproof, which is why it's not aggroed as it spawns in, which is nice. It's actually spawn blocking other pain elementals that are attempting to spawn in at that exact location. So killing, like even on a casual playthrough, killing the pain elementals is just useless. It wastes your ammo.
Oh, no, I don't want to do that. I was about to face tank myself with a rocket.
These Hell Knights are pretty
Don't want to do that.
nicely grouped.
Okay, we're still gonna ignore those imps behind the cage over there. We'll get to them at the very end. Now, we have 2 of the keys. We are like halfway done with this level. This level's really, really long.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of the longest, if not the longest level in this run. And maybe any category, really.
I think Unholy Temple is a little longer on some categories.
Yeah. Alright, so we're coming up on a pretty nice stash of health and armor. So we got a Megasphere, which is gonna save quite a bit of taking from the hit scanners. We also have a supercharge and a mega armor that we can get after we're done cleaning up this whole area. Alright, so take care of the pain elemental here. And we're gonna actually skip a little sequence. Normally we have to do these lift in sequence, but if we do a strafe run over to one of the ledges, that skips a couple of lost souls and pain elemental spawning.
Gotta save that soul sphere for later there.
Yeah. Alright. Doing pretty well. Yeah, the Unmaker, even at 2 keys, even at 1 key, really, is so good for taking out pain elementals. It just stun locks them and until they die. It's great.
Just don't be point blank.
Yeah.
Just don't be point blank. I wish I had more chain gun ammo. There's a lot of lost souls in this area right here.
Yeah. Okay, picking up, I think our first instance of the rad suit, actually, in this run at least.
We got the one in research lab, but
Oh,
it
that's
doesn't last that long anyway, so it's okay.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so just little winding paths here. Oh, that lost soul tried.
Yep. He wanted the block.
Alright, so we got the yellow key, which means we can essentially exit the level now. And actually, speaking of, this level contains the final secret level exit to In the Void, which is pretty much, it's the end of the level anyway, so you actually have to double back from the exit to get to it. Alright, so see if those imps play nice with the Baron spawn block here. Imps going
I'm gonna
towards
wait a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah, it looks like we're good there.
nice. Yeah, imps.
Oh, that Baron was mad. Just slaughtered that Nightmare Imp right in front of me. It's like I'm gonna get you, just like this.
Yeah. Alright.
Oh, I have no bullets. Ooh. Thankfully, super shotgun will work just fine. Okay, everything's dead. So now we're gonna go to
Yeah.
the super secret exit.
Plus you get it.
And I'm gonna hopefully not skip this secret.
Nice.
You can skip that trigger and miss end up with like 75%. So we're good
Yeah,
there.
it's happened so many times to me. It's such a stupid way to lose time.
So this is actually going to be the first instance of seeing In the Void in any GDQ event. We've actually never seen this level at all in a hotfix or in a marathon run.
Yeah, I'm excited. This is probably my favorite level. Just like aesthetic-wise, it's so good. But yeah, this is where we're going to be picking up our third and final demon key. There's a lot of pain elementals in this level. This level loves pain elementals, so we've got to be careful about that. So we're gonna grab the red key here, try and cause some infighting, so they kind of work on each other while we're doing other stuff. It's
There
just
we go.
another,
Took a while.
yeah, it's another element of multitasking here. Anything you can do to save time while you're doing other stuff, definitely worth it. We're just going back and forth in the teleporter here to help with the aggro and just tricking the AI, essentially.
Yeah, you can actually telefrag some of the specters if they're in the right spot too, so it can also save a little bit of ammo and time.
Yeah, you're doing some nice work there. All right, where are these
Hello.
barons, speaking of?
We'll get this Hell Knight first and we'll see. Hopefully they're grouped up for rockets. Not really.
Yeah. All right, so we're coming up on the blue key here after the red door. Kind of a scary area. Somewhat tight corridor. And there's a bunch of Mancubus that spawn, a bunch of Barons of Hell that spawn, especially after you get the blue key. They're all scared about. We do want to take care of them right away, though. We essentially just want to make sure that nothing's alive before we get the demon artifact. And we can talk
Yeah,
about
there's
that.
a reason for that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that when we get there, I think. So we got the blue key. take care of the Barons now, try and group them up. So we don't have to worry about them later. So we're gonna go back to that first area that we got the red key in. And go to the little wooden cylinder supported hallway at the end of that. See how the Baron and the Hell Knights are doing as well on the way back, I think. Good, the pin elemental went down quickly.
Yeah, it's especially bad if a pain elemental gets away on this level because of it being such an open space that Lost Souls can just roam for forever and ever, and it's hard to find them because of all the mist.
Yeah, I mean, technically there are level boundaries, but they extend quite a bit. All right.
Let's see where this elevator cycle is. That's in a good cycle, and just grab the key.
Yes. All right. These should be the final enemies, these 3 Mancubi. So now that we got the yellow key, we can exit, but we still need the demon artifact for this category. So what we're gonna do is hit the yellow switch to lower the bars, cross the archway for a brief moment. You see an earthquake happen. That's going to raise a switch, and that's going to transport the demon artifact to somewhere else in the level. Essentially behind the blue key, which is now a small stepping stone to the support way in the back. So we bolt it to this final demon artifact, and then we get to the exit as quickly as we can. Because normally what happens when you grab that artifact is there's like 5 pain elementals that spawn a bunch of earthquakes. It's not a good time, and it could get very off the rails very quickly. That's why the movement here is critical. Let's see if that's it. Yeah, nice.
Nice. Got to skip a whole bunch of pain elementals. So here we go into probably the hardest arena in the game.
Yeah.
This is Spiral.
Yeah. Also, shout outs to Cryteon for finding that that in the void skip. She does BG Max runs, I believe. But yeah, so yeah, the Spiral is it's a pretty volatile level. Pretty cramped, and there's like, I don't know, 10-ish pain elementals total that spawn over the course of whatever it is you're doing. So bust out the now 3 key fully powered Unmaker that shoots 3 lasers, and it's even faster than before. Looks good on the pain elemental side.
It's pretty much going to be Rocket Central now.
Yeah, that's
So I'm
another
just
thing
gonna-
about this level. It has well over 100 rockets. Like just to pick up, it can easily fill you up, top you off. And we're gonna need pretty much all of them, not only for this level, which we use a lot for, but just in the upcoming levels. And yeah, I would say we're pretty much nearing the end game when we start this level.
Yeah, I want to exit with 100 rockets if possible, so I'm going to take a little extra time to stock up. That's good enough. 92 is fine.
Yeah. Gonna use them throughout the course of the next few levels. Rockets save so much time. Alright, that was actually a pretty good Spiral, I would say.
Yeah, that went much better than average. 130 is a great in-game time for that level.
Yeah, nice. It's also important going into level 20 breakdown here to have a fair amount of health and armor, because there's hit scanners everywhere at the start of it, and they can easily chip you down. So I shoot the switch here, lower the blue key. Want to make sure everything's dead before we exit this section, because we cannot go back once we crossed over here. I'm gonna try and get the stair cycle, I guess you want to call it. Let's see.
Maybe? Yeah, I got it.
Nice. Yeah, so once you kill the Hell Knights, stairs on both sides raise up, and hitting that switch in the middle, I believe, opens up the Mega Armor. So what we want to do is be where the stairs are as we kill the Hell Knights, so we raise up with them and we don't have to go all the way around. And yeah,
I'm going to go for the rocket strat coming up. This is really scary to do.
Good luck.
Okay, well, I'm abandoning that already because I face rocketed.
Yeah, and
No thanks.
It could definitely work. It's just really risky. I mean, kudos for going for all the risky strats.
I have to. It's Doom.
Yeah, of course. Speaking of pinkies and specters, once you grab that red key, just pinkies surround you from all sides, and I mean, yeah, rocket strats are a little bit safer than that hallway previously, since we can back up, and they take a bit of time for pinkies to melee attack you proper, and they're just stuck there as they're trying to melee you. So you can just back up as they do that and use rockets.
All right, let's see if we can get a little bit of infighting going here. There we go.
Yeah, that went really well. And they're out of the way.
Yeah, they like to. Yeah, and we'll be back for them later. Shoot, I forgot to do something. Need to make sure I get rid of a couple of these guys that I skipped by accident. Yeah, the paths we take are very particular to make sure we don't miss enemies from like walking around corners or such.
Yeah. Yeah, so generally our routing, I want to say, is pretty tight as far as like not only ammo, but also the very like peculiar sequence of like kills we do and like pathing we take. Like we're presuming that monsters are in a general area, and we don't want to really leave any behind if we can help it. Like especially if they can roam around in a huge area. Because then, you know, we have to track them down, waste time, all that bad stuff. Oh, I thought that Hell Knight fireball was gonna hit the Baron.
I was hoping it would. Oh well.
Alright, so, well, I was gonna say the last secret coming up here, but saving the soul sphere for later. For whatever reason, this megasphere over here, behind an invisible wall isn't a secret. That's just another one of those weird, like, non-secrets that feels like a secret. And yeah, speaking of, apparently this level was slated to have like a pretty huge sequence of secrets and walls and line deaths that you have to do. But I don't think that ever came to fruition. But the data is still there.
Yeah. Yeah, you can like look in the map data and you can find like a bunch of tagged walls, but nothing actually happens. So there was definitely something planned. We just don't know what exactly.
Yeah.
The many mysteries of Doom 64. All right, 100, good.
Nice. Yeah, Pitfalls I think is the other huge level, and well, Unholy Temple as well. But yeah, I'll talk about that when we get to it.
So it's definitely one of the more aggravating levels, no matter which category you're playing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's two main parts of the level I want to say. So there's like these catacombs, and then there's the hallways afterwards. And wow, that went really well as far as
yeah, that was a very fast aggro.
Yeah. Yeah, that.
So we want to get that Arachnotron to aggro one of them, so.
Yeah, because.
And then we can deal with the other at some point.
Yeah, because with the infinite height quirk I was talking about earlier in the run, those cacos that are normally like way up high when you drop down to that secret, they can easily block you and just melee you. Like just, I don't know, unhinge their jaw and bite you from like 50 feet above.
I've heard of people being called a big mouth, but that's stretching it a little bit there.
So to speak. Alright, so we're about to enter the second part of this level with the hallways. Get a nice little secret right away with the detour. It actually has 3 medikits, which are really nice at a pinch. 75 free health. If we need it. Other than that, there's just a bunch of hit scanners that we take care of.
Somebody opened that door leading to the Baron early.
Oh.
It's really weird that enemies like to use the use command a lot too, so they'll sometimes roam around and open doors that I don't want them to.
Yeah.
So that's fine though.
Okay. Alright, so yeah, you notice there's a switch behind the grating here with the Baron. That's a shoot switch.
I want that energy.
Yeah, any energy you could get is pretty important because it's mostly at a premium in this game in general, I want to say. Yeah.
It's a,
Oh, were you gonna say?
No, it's like just ammo in general is a bit more stingy, like compared to other Dooms. I feel, especially if you're running a long category like this one.
Yeah. Yeah, like especially also where everything has to die. You have to like use your ammo everywhere. All right, so let's see how this room goes.
All right, so I want to aggro a Hell Knight and a Baron again. Please, thank you.
Nice. I don't think we got spell blocks, but that's okay.
Nah, that's fine. We can do it this way.
It's so funny from
It
that
looks funny that
perspective.
way. I was like, guys, I'm right here.
There is an invuln on the side here, but we save it for the Barons and a little bit of catacombs once we exit the hallway after the blue key.
Yeah, because we've got the 3 key Unmaker, and I want to stretch this invuln as far as possible, so we're going to use this to knock out the Barons. Because they go down kind of quick.
Yeah, like 8 volleys of 3 shots usually do the trick. It's so fast.
Okay, and then we're going to save the rest of our cells, so we're just going to rocket our way around. Want to get to this little hidden soul sphere right here. Okay, that's a pretty good spot for that to finish up.
Yeah. Nice and safe when it ended. Looking great on I just had to say something. I was gonna say looking great on
You jinxed it. Commentator's curse.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for.
All right, so just a few more enemies to clear out here. I actually am going to take a little bit of a detour. There's a not-so-secret right over here. We can get some more rockets, which are well worth detouring for.
Yeah. Just a few more Barons here. 1 by the red key switch, and then 2 here.
It's a bad angle to fire at.
Yeah, I don't know if the grouping's too well, like one's slacking off. Oh well.
That's fine. Let's see if we can get this ledge jump. Hey, first try ledge jump.
Nice.
That's a really aggravating ledge jump to get.
Yeah, usually I think you do that right away in speed, right?
Yeah, on both trips.
Yeah.
I actually have quite a bit of rockets, so I'm going to spend them here.
All right. That does pitfalls. Hopefully. Yep. always.
I'm wondering if I really should go for the Arachnotron. I'm just gonna do it this way since I forgot to hit the switch anyways. That I don't need it for anything else. So we're just gonna do that.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes you can go for the chainsaw and just chainsaw that Arachnotron out, but hit chainsaw versus Arachnotron gets a little weird because apparently chainsaw or Arachnotron hitboxes are rectangular. So if you get on a bad side of them, you can just hit the air and not actually do any damage.
Yeah.
And then the Arachnotron just blows you in the face with plasma and you probably die.
Yeah. Definitely getting on his bad side after that. All right. So.
We'll get to see that in the next level, though.
Yeah. Chainsaw does get some time in the spotlight. So there's a switch we hit behind this hidden wall here. Normally, once you grab the rocket launcher, you're just kind of stuck in there, and the dart traps do some work on you. It can do some pretty hefty damage. But yeah, while we're waiting for that trap to finish, that's another instance of multitasking. A lot of it in this run. We do some work on the Arachnotrons. Also, the Mega Armor we picked up, unfortunately, is kind of useless because we get a Mega Sphere right here on the return trip to the yellow key.
It's so unfortunate.
Alright, let's see how the Arachnotron spawn here. I'm glad you remembered to grab the yellow key, unlike me, who's missed it multiple times.
No, don't worry. I just forget keys in Descent instead. So you should actually talk about like what you're talking about with the Arachnotron spanning, because that actually ties into a script in this level.
Yeah, I think I see one down over there.
Yeah, so one spawn, so we're good.
Okay, so yeah, once you grab the yellow key. There's 3 arachnotrons normally that spawn in. I think that was best case scenario, actually. Just one of them. So yeah, there's 3 arachnotrons that spawn in. Since we bolt it to the yellow key, there's likely going to be enemies in the way of the spawn, so there's going to be spawn blocking happening. If all 3 arachnotrons fail to spawn in, so you would think that would be the best case scenario, but it's actually the worst case scenario, since there's some really weird trigger quirks that happen. We're gonna shoot a gargoyle statue on the way back here, and if none of the arachnotrons spawn, for whatever reason, that yellow key trigger happens again. And since we did clear out all of the enemies there, all 3 arachnotrons just spawn in. And definitely burned me on exiting, seeing like 92%, which, I mean, given the title of the level, Burnt Offerings, kind of fitting, I'd say. Alright, so we're coming up on the end. It's the very satisfying, I don't even know if you want to call it a fight, just like kind of a slaughter here, with the fully powered Unmaker, and there's a bunch of Cacos and Arachnotrons out here, and we just mow them all down with ease. Really satisfying, because we have the cell count for it. And there's the soul
Just
shards.
barely. Oof.
And just a couple more at the exit, and we're out.
Alright, that brings us to... Well, there's a 98, so somebody's not dead.
I might have seen...
Glad I saved there.
I think it's like
it might
right
be
here.
a pinky roaming around.
I think there's one right here, like a Caco you missed. Yeah.
Oh, there is. Nice catch.
Mm.
Okay, so now we're gonna get some chainsaw action.
Yeah. The chainsaw is like, it's so good in this game. It's really easy to just like hinge yourself in if you get a good angle for arachnotrons. And arachnotrons have like a 50% pain chance, so like they're constantly getting hit by the chainsaw and they're pretty much stun locked down and can't do anything as long as you're constantly hitting them. And it's actually like as fast, if not maybe a little faster than rockets or the super shotguns.
Yeah, if we had extra rockets, that'd probably be a little bit faster, but rockets are always kind of at a premium.
Yeah, rockets are like definitely one of the most important next to maybe cells. Just overall.
6, there we go.
Okay. Nice.
All right. Thankfully, there's going to be a nice secret with a cell refill, so we won't have to worry too much about that.
Yeah, there's like 300 cells at the secret. It's such a nice fill up. So we kill all 4 barons here. That raises the switch that we can press to enter the castle proper. Another castle motif for this game with this map. And there's 2 barons back here that we ignore for now. We'll come back to them. Right now, we just want to activate this pinky spawn wave as soon as possible, and then take care of the arachnotrons. It's a little scary, but overall not too bad, I want to say. Especially with the Unmaker, it could help out in a pinch. So there's 3 waves of pinkies that spawn in. Kind of just a pinky disco happening. And then after a little while, there's 4 Barons of Hell that spawn in. We want to just keep the pinkies alive so they can spawn block. What were you gonna say?
No, we're good. I just wanted to make sure that Baron died. I just whiffed my BFD shot just slightly.
Yeah. But yeah, the very, very typical scenario there, if we don't kill any pinkies and wait for it, is just it spawn blocks 2 Barons out of the 4. So hit the switch, get the key, and then we can basically just start doing the next full part of the level. It's like grabbing all the keys. So we got the red key. This is the exit room. Coming up is actually probably the most, probably the most important skip, I want to say, in the run, and especially for speed as well.
I'd say so.
So we line ourselves up after we kill everything here. Normally, when you try to go for the yellow key, it says no, it despawns into another spot, and nice. And a Baron just face tanks you right in your, in the way. So that happens a couple times. But if we skip that line def, we can just grab the yellow key really early and actually skip a Cacodemon fight, which we would need to do if we grab the yellow key at its proper location to reopen up the castle. And then here we'd just do a sequence of 3 switches, just 1 per color. There's 3 doors that we have to open, and then 3 switches behind said doors to get to the exit. It's really easy to remember. Just basically start with 1 color each and work yourself clockwise. This is like the most elaborate one of the doors that the key switches are behind. I was kind of hoping for like a moonshot. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I was hoping for the no scope shot. Sometimes the auto targeting on the rocket launcher likes to hit one of these Hell Knights back here.
Yeah.
Which is very funny when it happens.
Auto aim just has a life of its own sometimes. All right, 2 switches. Get the platforms up here. And that's the second switch of the 3. That lowers the exit bars. I'm just gonna take care of these cacos and then get out of here. And then make our way to the exit room. Not too much longer left. This is essentially the end of the level.
Yeah, we do need to spawn the barons that we skipped through the yellow key skip, because the last one does trigger the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just gonna do this. As long as we don't pick up the real yellow key, then it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the one that, if you pick it up, it spawns cacos and you're gonna have to take care of them. It doesn't matter about re-entering the castle, but you do have to kill those cacos now. All right.
That brings us to no escape, which is 100% serious time for me.
Yeah. Yeah, this level's a beast. It starts you off with a cyber demon, just in an open area. It's not there on non-Watch Me Die Max difficulties. Let's take care of that, which the 3 key unmaker, you can see how quickly it mows it down. It's so overpowered. There's a few different sections that we have to go to here, but there's also a few items that we don't pick up, such as the mega armor, which would spawn in like a few shotgun guys. Once we kill this Smakybus, there's gonna be a few more. Might have to wait for it.
Yeah, that's fine. That gives me more time to set up over here.
Yeah. All right, so.
Oh, I almost managed to spawn block that one.
Oh, that would have been
just
so
a little
good.
off. I've actually never tried spawn blocking that one, so I just kind of winged it.
It was close.
It was very close.
Yeah, it spawns a bunch of Lost Souls, a bunch of Nightmare Imps, and like a couple Mancubi. We do unfortunately have to take care of it all because the thing that sets all of that off is already spawned in at the start of the level, so. It's just the 2 Mancubi on the raising and lowering pillars. And now coming up is the first of 2 switches that we're gonna use to free the cyber demons, and it's kind of an interesting thing we have to do here. We have to pick up green armor in order to unlock the doors that these lost souls are behind. You can see here. Yeah, it's not a line def trigger.
Oh, that hurt.
Yeah, that's not a line def trigger. That's actually an item trigger, which I think is also unique to Doom 64's engine. But yeah, it's funny. If you have more than 100 armor somehow at that point, you actually have to intentionally damage yourself at that, like, to get yourself down to below 100 armor. All right, so coming up is the cyber demons. See how that goes.
I faked myself out on that shot. So because of like the high fire rate and the possibility of a pain chance, the cyber demon can reset his rocket count and just fire right in your face when you're not expecting. So I have to really be on my toes here.
Yeah, and I think the muzzle flash isn't really the proper time that the rocket comes out. So you can see it, but nothing comes out, right?
I think so. All right, so that brings us to the last level, thankfully.
Yeah. All right, so the Absolution, usually it's a huge arena battle. So you see 3 gates that monsters are supposed to come out of. So since we picked up the demon artifacts, we could use 1 per switch per gate to essentially lower them, kill anything that is trying to spawn in, and then kill anything in the monster closet that's way off in the distance, like out of bounds. And then, let's see.
Oh no, it happened.
Yeah, so, okay, sometimes this can happen for some reason. Once you kill everything, the game doesn't, for whatever reason, think you killed everything, which is like the trigger for the final boss, the Mother Demon in the center, to spawn. And sometimes, especially with the hitting the switches, like the artifact switches, that happens more often. We're not sure why that happens still.
Yeah, we're still looking into it.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll be okay this time. Yeah,
Nice.
okay, so I will call time at the end. Hopefully we get 100% because there's a very rare scenario where we don't get 100%, so
Yeah.
we're gonna just verify we have the 100 before we call time here.
See what we got.
Time.
Hey, nice job.
At least we got our 100. Okay, that's all right. It's
really good.
It's a tough run. It's a very, very tough run. My PB in this category is a 131, and I want to get a 130 at some point, but with what just happened at the very end right there happening, it's a little scary to think about.
Yeah, something. Yeah, time loss is just out of your control like that. But yeah.
So yeah, that's.
I think it still went really well though. Like
Yeah,
honestly.
it was as a
It
whole.
was
It
really
went
cool to
really
see.
well. It was fun. So since I actually have a little time under estimate, do you mind if I show something off real quick? It only takes a couple minutes.
Sure. Yeah, you're the final run of the night, so go for it.
All right, so I'm actually going to show off the glitch warp in the layer. This is actually something I've shown on the Doom 2 hotfix that we did 2 years ago, but it's a little bit different this time. So I'm gonna go to the features menu. This is what I unlocked by doing Hectic with the secret exit. We'll just use that to quickly warp to the appropriate level.
You got commentary here, or?
Yeah, I can get it.
Okay.
So this is a really, really funny thing. So Headshot was looking around the map data some time back, like a few years back, and found something. He found a level trigger that was actually out of bounds. By the way, I lied. Here's the plasma gun. You get to see the plasma gun a little bit. So we're actually going to get out of bounds to access this exit trigger. And it's a little complicated because we have to get onto these ledges and move in very specific ways to get to a part of the wall that actually doesn't have any collision. So we're just going to take this a little safer here because Lost Souls are in the way. I do have cheats on just to give myself health and armor and invincibility, and that you can do this trick without them. Doesn't really matter. So this is a very specific setup right here to make sure that we can hit this ledge. I might not be in the right spot. Well, the Lost Soul came and bumped me out of the way. That's pretty typical.
Yeah.
Okay, so hopefully this looks all right. We're gonna line up against a part of the mountain. No, I might be a little too far forward, so we're gonna set that up again.
Yeah, it's an extremely tight jump.
Yeah, you have to have like the very exact forward movement tap here when setting this up. All right,
Nice.
there we go. So now we're behind the castle, so you can see there's not really anything about here. It's a nice, pretty mountain texture. Doom Guy likes to count bricks right here. 1, 2, 3. He's gonna look at that. And what if I made these mountains do something different? So I did.
What?
So we actually managed to just barely tap that exit trigger that's out of bounds and end the level that way. But due to the way the scripts work in this level, that exit trigger doesn't have a next level attached to it, as you can see right here. So in the console version of the game, that actually sends you straight to the exit credits, and it's really funny to see the Mother of Demons is all dead when you finish the game at halfway. But on this version of the game for the 2020 re-release, it does something even funnier. We broke hell so hard, it kicks us back to the main menu. It's just like, no. No thanks.
That's pretty good.
It's great. So we actually do have a category for that. We call it the warped category, where you just play up to the first half of the game, take the secret exit into the layer, and finish the game that way. So it's a very amusing category. But that's going to do it for Doom 64. Thank you all for having me. Thanks to everyone in the Doom block. Everybody did a phenomenal job, and I had a great time watching and participating myself.
Yeah, I approached a friend of mine, King Dime, and I said, hey, I want to show off some Doom stuff. You know, what recommendations do you have? He said, okay, listen, I got you. He threw like 15 people at me, and I was like, oh, okay, hey, hang on.
Yeah,
So
big shout out to Dime. He's a great friend of the community. Always done a whole bunch of Doom stuff for GDQ in the past, and he's just always supportive of everyone doing their runs.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And I definitely want to do more with the Doom community because this is so cool to just see everybody so excited about these games. Mm-hmm. An excellent Kako Demon plush.
He's a good boy.
So as we finish up here, just got a final few announcements for everybody. If you missed out on any of these shows, you want to see them again. Unfortunately, this is the end of the Doom episode for tonight. But you can check it out on youtube.com/gamesdonequick. And if you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to join us at twitch.tv/gamesdonequick to check out the live shows starting most nights at 7 p.m. Eastern. And check out the GDQ Summit Best Segments channel, which is a highlight channel with regular videos, but it's just small highlight reels of each of the HotFix shows and each of the main events. Finally, a little bit of plugging my own thing. One and Doneathon is a new GDQ marathon that's starting. You get one submission, one acceptance, and then you never get to run in that marathon again. So it's aiming to create some variety within the community. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. And so thank you all for joining us tonight. We have tomorrow Mercy Kill at 7 p.m. Eastern, followed by Never Before Seen. And if you missed it, the GDQ 2022 online schedule is out and prize submissions are open. So make sure to check those out at gamesdonequick.com. So that's it for us tonight. Thank you again to everyone in the Doom community who came out and joined.